Peace, fam. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor, hit that like button and please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. You know, I appreciate your guys' support. Thank you. Thank you so much for rocking with me for all of these years. Again, hit that like button, make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe. Before we jump into today's topic, got a couple of announcements, a couple tours, a couple destinations we're going to in Africa. And listen, if you want to roll, we got some room for you. Would love to host you guys. Would love to have you guys on a trip. So we are rolling to Senegal, May 27th through June 4th. May 27th through June 4th. We have some spots that opened up. So, you know, if you are free, if you want to go to Senegal and enjoy the best food in the world, if you ask me, Senegal is home to the best cuisine, the best food in the world. If you want to come to Senegal and have some beautiful food and just have a good time at the Jazz Festival, one of the most consistent and largest jazz festivals in Africa. And again, keyword consistent because they have it every year. Meanwhile, there's other jazz festivals, but for some reason, they're just not consistent. Please visit Danfo.Africa. Again, that's Danfo, DANFO.Africa to learn more. We are also rolling to Senegal in May, Nigeria in August, Zanzibar in September, and then we're going to Namibia and South Africa in November, and then Sierra Leone in December. And I'm hosting a group in Sierra Leone this upcoming, in fact, next month. If you guys don't know, citizenship is back on in Sierra Leone. They changed the rules a little bit, but citizenship is definitely back on in Sierra Leone. So if you're interested, hit me up. Visit Danfo.Africa. Again, Danfo.Africa. That's DANFO.Africa. Again, that's DANFO.Africa to learn more. Today's topic, you know, we've been speaking on the situation with between Congo and Rwanda. And I've heard from both sides, you know, as they say, there's two sides to every story, and in the middle, in the center is the truth. And I'm sorry, I'm leaning towards Kagame. I'm leaning towards Kagame. And let me play this clip. Let me play this recent interview from Kagame. This is a couple days old. And so I want to listen to this. I want you guys to listen to this interview. And I'm not saying what Kagame is doing is right, but I understand. And the reason why I think the deal breaker for me when it comes to Kagame, he at the very least provides and ensures his people have the necessities. Meanwhile, Congolese leadership has been terrible, god awful, embarrassing ever since the assassination of Patrice Lumumba. Guys, give me a second. I got to send this text message off real quick. Ever since the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, Congolese leadership has been embarrassing, god awful, filled with sellouts. And the argument is, well, Kagame is a puppet of the West. You know, that's the argument. Kagame is a puppet of the West. Tell me the Congolese president, who is not a puppet or was not a puppet of the West. Again, at least Kagame provides for his people. At the very least. And see, that's the deal breaker with me. Congolese leadership is just incompetent. And it's been that way for, we're going on 60 years now. When was Patrice Lumumba assassinated? Yeah, we're going a little over 60 years now. Congolese leadership just being incompetent and an embarrassment. But let's play this interview real quick. So, how corrupt Congolese leadership is, how incompetent Congolese leadership is, how much of an embarrassment Congolese leadership is. Kagame's story makes more sense. And in fact, Kagame's more credible. There we go. I would say Kagame is more credible. Again, I don't want people to fight. I don't want brothers at war with each other. But Kagame's reasoning is way more credible than was coming out of the Congo. Let's listen to this interview real quick.
Works fast to provide relief that lasts long for up to 12 hours. Try Elite and Aloe today.
This holiday season, your Mac is in good hands with the new Clean My Mac. Remove last year's
1 million lives erased in just 100 days. Not in years, not in months. 100 days. A nation turned on itself overnight. In this exclusive sit-down, Mario goes deep with Rwandan President Paul Kagame, not just on the genocide that nearly destroyed his country, but on the forces that allowed it to happen.
It was just an open place. They drew a line, left Rwanda on this side, and the other side it was called Congo. But this line divided the families. You can talk about others who migrated.
He's right. And I know Omkar's probably watching. Omkar came in here with this story that there were no, in present day Rwanda, the ethnic groups that are in Rwanda today that are along the border of the Congo, that before the Europeans came and drew their line, that none of those ethnic groups are in present day Congo, which is ridiculous and BS. But let's continue. There were definitely ethnic groups that are in present day Rwanda that have been in the Congo, that have been in present day Congo for hundreds of years. Hell, I even say thousands.
And went to Congo from Rwanda, or whatever it is. But there are those who are indigenous to that place. These are the ones who are fighting, whom the government is uprooting and saying, you go back to Rwanda.
You're talking about the M23 now?
Yeah. And we have, by the 130,000 people, refugees.
From Congo and Rwanda?
Yeah. They've been living here for the last 23 years.
And Congo doesn't want them back?
It doesn't even want those who are there, who never came here.
There was a leader in Rwanda who's very corrupt, supported by the US during Soviet Cold War era. Then the US withdrew its support.
That was Mobutu.
And then Kabila is the one that you supported, Francis Kabila, that took over power. And then Francis Kabila and you guys, your relationship broke down.
Again, Mobutu, Kabila, even Felix, all corrupt, shady leaders. Yeah, Omkar be lying his ass off, but we gotta, there's two sides to every story, and I respect and I'll listen to differing opinions, but yeah, Omkar be lying his ass off, especially the whole there were no ethnic groups from Rwanda that were in present day Congo before the Belgium drew the borders. That's a BS. That'd be equivalent to saying that there were no airways in Togo before the French, or really before the Germans drew their borders around Togo, but separating Togo from Ghana. saying that there were no airways on that side. That's crazy. Or that's the equivalent of saying there were no Yorubas in present day Benin Republic before those borders were drawn. It's like, come on now, stop it.
For whatever reason. And then there was multiple wars where Rwanda was involved. And then he was shot by his bodyguard. His son, Joseph Kabila, took over. Then there was an election, and we have today's leader. Congo, I feel, is like, it's not even a country anymore. It's just, as heartbreaking it is, it's just a land full of minerals that so many different people have their hands into that pot. You have a threat on your border. That threat still houses the FDLR, the same people that committed the genocide 30 years ago. They're still there on your border. Their goal is to replace you as president, replace the entire government right now, and to still get rid of Tutsis in Rwanda. So that's still their objective. And they're doing the same thing for Tutsis in Congo. Then there's the other argument of minerals. So the way I see it is there's all these different hands, some corrupt, some good, some bad, some of them committing horrendous crimes to get access to the minerals in Congo, because it's such a wealthy country. And there's no real way of doing business with Congo. You don't think the current government is doing the best job. They operate in a country that everyone wants it to be unstable, because that's how they get access to the minerals. And your end goal is for Congo to be stable, even more prosperous than you if that's possible, and to do business with Congo a peaceful way. But you're not able to reach a path to that.
If you looked at the list of 100 entities, China, Europe, US, Canada, and so on, including all of us in the region, who are interested in minerals in the Congo, Rwanda would come as 100, it would come at the bottom. But the situation is such that it has been made to look like the ones least concerned with the minerals have been the ones accused for the entire problem of these 100 who get billions and billions and leave nothing behind. So Rwanda has come to be the ones to absorb it. And the people who have the power of the media, of everything, and for them, they're also benefiting from the bad politics. Our problem is not minerals. It has nothing to do with minerals. Ours is about security. And once we are not assured of our security, we can't be thinking about minerals in that situation. No, that would be the last thing on our minds. The second problem that combines with that, because of that history we said of the people, the Congolese of Rwandese origin, carved out by the border, the governments in Kinshasa all the time use this pretext. One, first of all, they say they want to get rid of these people. This FDLR, those who committed genocide, went to Congo 30 years ago. They work with politics and politicians. They cause them problems, but they want to cause them problems and eventually cause problems to Rwanda. Now, these are things we have discussed with everyone, whichever government that has come into Congo.
So that includes Kabila, the one that you've helped get into power, and his son.
And even
now
Tshisekedi and Felix.
What does Felix say? Like, I know publicly he calls you Hitler and he says all these crazy things.
I think his genocide ideology, like
you think so? He's that extreme?
I think so. He is.
Have you spoken to him privately often?
I have spoken to him like 100 times before these problems.
Was there any common ground? Like,
yeah, we discussed even when he became president. By the way, I don't mind how he became president. He was not elected both times. The first time he was handed over power by the Joseph. Yes, there's no question about it. The second, he just declared himself, and that was in everybody's to shut up, and that's what happened. So, but that's not my problem. The UN has been there now for about 24 years, has been in Congo. They have had about 17 to 18,000 peacekeepers, so-called, in that place from different countries. If you calculate the amount of money spent over that period of 24 years, it's close to 40 billion. Now, the question number one is, what did they actually come to do? To keep peace? Which peace is there? To bring peace? which peace have they brought? To solve the problem concerning Rwanda of security of these FDLR that have lived there for the last 30 years? Nothing.
So why are they
The
there?
only thing they did relating to this, they have over time repatriated some FDLR and their families.
Back to Rwanda?
Back to Rwanda. It's on record, it's recorded. The rest, I don't know.
You're applying for tech jobs and every listing says SQL required. Want to
All right, guys, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. Link's gonna be in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you can. Again, link is in the chat room. If you want to call and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to call and add to the convo. Link is in the chat room. Are you saying that again? Are you claiming that the Congolese leadership, that they're not also puppets of the West? So you're saying Kagame is a puppet of the West, but Mobutu, Kabila, Tshisekedi, none of them were puppets of the West? Thanos, go ahead. Oh, Kyle, you got that generator going in the background. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, man, I'm outside.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Just basically want to say that I'm doing a show tonight about this topic, and the topic was Trump to get the Congo's minerals. The white man wins again, you know. And so I'm saying to myself, man, any more L's that we're gonna take, you know? Now I always thought that that Paul Kagame was backed by the West. Now this doesn't make any sense. Why is the Congo bringing the West in to fight against Paul Kagame? Because someone explained that to me. All these people believe just because Rwanda is a successful nation, it must be backed by the West, just like the American Liberians. They must be backed by the West just because he buckled down, have a clean country. Even the eastern part of Congo, they're following in Goma, they're following his model by cleaning.
Nakala, we lost you. Go ahead, Murph.
All right, hey brother, how you doing?
I'm well.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in real quick because I'm I'm gonna do it right now. I'm just gonna answer his question real fast. As far as the West backing Kagame up, that's all they do. Let's understand one thing: with all of these countries, no country is a friend of nobody. It's all about interest. The same Western powers have supported Paul Kagame because it made it possible for them or for Paul Kagame to loot all the resources from Congo and then they get it from there. Let me ask you one quick question. Do you know that Rwanda is probably one of the number one producers of cobalt and coltan in Africa, but they don't have any of those resources in their own soil? Where do you think they get that from? I'm from Congo, born and raised. 1997, when the war broke out, I was probably 6 years old. Listen, this war is it's just an economic war. That's all it is. It's an economic war. So now the West, they are provided, like they're offered a better deal. Now they start to consider what Felix Tshisekedi is bringing to the table and trying to ditch Kagame. That's what they've always done throughout history. All the African dictators, they follow the West. The moment you're not playing the ball with them, they're going to turn around and stab you right in the back. We've learned that throughout history, and it's about to repeat itself.
Well, I don't understand why y'all keep repeating the lie that Rwanda doesn't have coltan, and it literally is
Can I finish real quick
it's
because
a land that's separated by an imaginary
All right,
border.
Kasha, let him finish. Go ahead, Murph.
All right, so that is the issue. As long as we don't understand or realize that these foreign countries, these Western powers, are only there for their interests. They don't care. They're not your friend. They're only there to pin us against each other. Because I don't even have time to go back to the history. Why transpired between Congo and when Mobutu was toppled, and then President Laurent Desire Kabila took power, and then eventually he was killed, and so on and so forth. Because even like the M23 that he wants to say, oh, this is like the Congolese rebel groups, they're creating instability in the eastern region of Congo, and so on and so forth. But there are so many layers to that. People who look at Paul Kagame like this Pan Africanist, who's like this bold guy stand up against the West. I would suggest that you study Congo and Rwanda history better, then you will come to the understanding that Paul Kagame is not who you think he is. Look, hell, there are like videos, pictures of Rwanda, or even UN reports showing the involvement of Rwanda military intervention in the Congolese soil. Multiple UN reports. And then UN will go, like the European Union, they will go and sign a contract, mineral contract with Rwanda to do business with them. Now they are revisiting those accords because they realize that Paul Kagame has been supporting the M23 for the longest. I mean, I wish I could stay on this debate, but unfortunately,
Hey yo,
I'm on duty. But I gotta go. But I
Let,
can listen to what you gotta go
hey
until
yo, can
I get a call.
hey
Go
yo,
ahead,
can
go
I
no,
ahead.
no,
reply to you?
no, Scott, let me pass the mic to Antoine. He's next. Go ahead, Antoine.
Yeah, hi. Sorry for my English, first of all. I'm not Congolese, I'm not Rwandese, I'm Cameroonian. But I have been to Rwanda, and I used to have also all the beautiful image about Kagame and so on. But listen, Kagame, Kagame
Antoine, are you on speakerphone? Because it's like a real bad echo, and you're not
okay,
coming through.
okay, I switched.
Are you hearing me now better?
That's better. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to say about Rwanda. It's if you go to Rwanda, it's a really beautiful country, you know. And I like Rwanda. Everything is, at least in Kigali, well structured, and so. But as soon you go out of the capital, everything is much worse. It's a beautiful country, but the people are very poor there, and they rely on economic help from the West. And if you see actually the statistics of Rwandan economic growth, and there are some people, not only some people, there are many people who are saying that the numbers are not right, and they are actually, let's say, manipulated. So Rwanda is a country that depends on foreign help, and it depends on minerals from Congo. And the people, it's true. In Congo, Eastern Congo, there are Tutsi people living there, but they were not that many. Most of them came, first of all, in the 1960s. After the independence, when the Hutus won the elections, and then later on, some people went there after the genocide, but these were Hutus that left the country in 1994 and fled to Congo. There were about 1 million Hutu that fled to Congo, to Eastern Congo. And you know who told them to go there? It was the French government. The French government intervened in Rwanda, and they were aligned with the government that perpetrated the genocide against the Tutsis. And when they were losing the war, they just talked with Mobutu and told them, look, go to the east. When Rwanda intervened with Kabila in 1996, I think it was, in Rwanda, in Congo, Eastern Congo, they did a lot of mess there. There were about 1 million Hutu people in the Eastern Republic, in the eastern part of RDC. And they killed, you can look it up, you can make the research, they killed about 200 to 500,000 people. The other 500,000 people, they fled into different countries. So the FDRL that Kagame is saying that they are fighting against, it does no more really exist. So it is very small. The people that are in this organization are very old, so it's no more really a threat. It is being used to justify the annexion of Eastern Congo, but the threat does no more exist, really.
Hey yo.
Well, let me pass it. Yeah. Well, yeah, Skylar, you're next in Castronova. Go ahead, Skylar.
Okay, cool. So to the guy, a lot of things. The Congolese guy, I don't know if that was Congolese. You said the UN said there's Rwandan troops in Congo. I don't know if he's still there. But Dynas, you saw the video of like the Romanian troops in Rwanda, like when that whole battle happened in Goma. Do you know about all
Well,
the
yeah,
Romanian? And the
Scott,
Congolese.
Scott, you gotta let me answer, man.
Okay.
Yes, the mercenaries they were hired by the Congolese president. Yes.
Yeah, and also there were Congolese troops as well. Do you remember that too, Dynas?
Of course, yes.
Yeah, and that's my point. So they can show video of Congolese troop in Rwanda, but they can't show video of Rwandan troops in Congolese. Like they can't show you a video of that. All they say is like there's UN reports, but there's no video. There's no video evidence of that.
Dynas, can I jump in real quick? Something very important before I forget.
If you look, you will find the videos.
Oh, can we finish? Yeah, let me finish. But yeah, there's no videos of it. It's just UN reports. But we see Congolese troops going to Rwanda. There's no reports. There's just video evidence. We all have the video evidence of the Congolese in Rwanda when they surrendered, but it's not the other way around. And with this cult thing, holopism, he made a live stream too about this, like that goes over that. So if you guys want to go into that, like go to holopism video. But yeah, like the UN report, like there's no video evidence of that happening, but we see that of the Congolese in Rwanda. And with the whole FDLR situation, like again, they're still there. They're still a threat. Like anyone who said they like,
how big are they? How big?
Hold on. Let me finish.
Hold on, Skylar, 1 second. So, Antoine, it doesn't matter how big they are. Are they still there?
They're still there.
Can I say something to that? Can I say something to that?
Can I finish?
Well, hold on. Let Skylar finish. This Cashanova's turn. Then I got to pass it over. Go ahead, Skylar.
Yeah, they'll say Paul Kagame is still as a threat to the Congo, but they'll say FDR is not a threat. Paul Kagame is younger than FDLR. Like they're the same age. So if Paul Kagame is still a threat, that means they're still a threat. Like, so which one is it? Like they're old. They're old. That's still they're not a threat anymore. That means Paul Kagame isn't a threat. He's old. So yeah, what's that? That's the logic here. But yeah, there's not just that. They're ADF. There's like ISIS in Congo. There's like 70 Christians got killed and beheaded. I don't know if you guys saw that. But yeah, there's a lot of militias in the Congo in the eastern part. And yeah, so that's why Paul Kagame like needs like M23. Like they like again, M23 is Congolese, but they're the Congolese government is not securing the eastern part of the country. So Rwanda has to go in and like stop all the militias pretty much because the Congolese government is going to do it. And so whoever Casanova, you want to go next?
Yes.
Can I answer quickly to what you are saying?
You got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, the soldiers are young, so I don't. The Rwandese soldiers are young, and the FDLR soldiers are old. That's what I mean. That they are pretty old. And second, James Gabarret, he was the head of the military in Congo 1 year, and you think he as a Rwandese, he goes to Congo, becomes the head of the military, and doesn't do anything against the FDLR. They killed a lot of them. I don't cry for them, but I know that they killed a lot of them. I'm finished.
All right, go ahead, Castro. Castro, unmute yourself, Castro. Castro. Okay, go ahead, woman. Unmute yourself, woman.
Okay. I'm driving, so I hope you guys can hear me clearly. To Skylar, who has said that there's no evidence that Rwandese soldiers are with M23 on the ground in Congo. That is incorrect. Paul Kagame all but admitted this. Basically, there's an interview where the CNN interviewer asked him point blank, are there Rwandan soldiers currently in the Congo? And his response was,
he says it no.
Right?
Yeah, he says it no.
Hold on. Allow me to finish because no one here is stupid, okay? We all watched the interview. He said, I don't know. When the guy said to him, how could you not know? You're the commander-in-chief. His smug response was, there are many things that I don't know. That's pretty much an admission because if there were no soldiers there, can I please finish? If there were no soldiers there, the answer would have been no, absolutely not. That's number one. So he pretty much admitted it. No one here is stupid. We all understand how semantics work. Okay? If there were no soldiers there, he should have said just no, there's no soldiers there. Secondly, when you say that the guys, the Hutus from the genocide are still a threat to Rwanda, and they have to be a threat to Rwanda because we are saying that Kagame is a threat to the Congo. Those two things don't make sense. Kagame is the head of state with a military behind him, and that's why he's a threat to the Congo. Those guys are old. Most of them are old. As this other gentleman said, most of them have been murdered long time ago. And if what you're saying, if Kagame is trying to justify what he's doing with M23 by saying, oh, they're a threat to us. Okay, so what happened? What has happened? There was no act of violence from that side onto Rwanda's territory for them to do what they did in January, for them to start this new war in January, right? Nothing has happened. What was the initiating factor for them for M23 to start going into the city and capturing the city and doing all what they're doing now? See, whenever I hear this story, I was just telling a friend of mine, this sounds very much to me like what Bibi is doing in Israel to the Gaza people, right? It's very much like, oh, we have a right to defend ourselves. Oh, they're a threat to us. We're going to destroy the entire city. We're going to level the city. We're going to kill innocent women and children, young boys, young women, young children, because there's a possible threat somewhere around. It makes no sense. The people that he's talking about that participated in the genocide are long gone, most of them. And whoever's left are no threat. They're not a threat to him. That ideology has pretty much, let me finish, please. That ideology has pretty much died with those people. Nothing has happened. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't remember there being an igniting factor before M23 started storming into the capital cities.
Hey,
but I could be wrong.
Yeah, can I respond real quick, Dinus?
Before you respond, let me ask you a question because I find you highly sus. You only come on the show and discuss this specific topic. You have no other opinions about anything else going on in Africa. But whenever it's a discussion about the Congo, you come on the show as a huge supporter of Kagame. I want you to answer that question too.
Yeah, I support Paul Kagame. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let me finish. Oh, no. Let me finish real quick. Okay. So she said, I asked, where is the video evidence of Rwandan troops inside the Congo? You saw the video of the Congolese troop surrendering in Rwanda. You saw the video of the Romanian troops inside Rwanda. Where is that same video of the opposite of
They were surrendering.
Let me finish. Where is the video of the Rwandan troops sneaking inside the Congo? Where is that video? So where's the video of that shit? Second, let me finish real quick, bro. Second, did Felix Tshisekedi said, if I win the election, I will invade Rwanda? Did he not say that? Did Felix Tshisekedi said, if you vote for me, I will invade Rwanda? Did he not say that? Okay, there are tons of militias.
That and he's an idiot. Most people in the Congo find him to be an idiot.
Let me finish.
Hold on, but that's important. But hold on,
Skyler's been going for a long time.
He said it.
One mic. Well, Skyler, one mic. But that I didn't know he said that. I mean, that's a head of state threatening to invade another country. Did he say that?
Exactly.
Did he say that?
He said it.
Dinus, can I say something real quick?
Did he do it? Did he do it?
No, did he say it? Did he say it? Did he say it?
He said he's going to invade another country. Are you serious?
Okay, President Trump has made ridiculous statements like that himself.
So what is he?
Hold hold on. Would it be appropriate for one of these other heads of states that President Trump has made these crazy statements about? Would it make sense? Would it be appropriate for them to send their troops storming into our country? And secondly, Tyler, hold on. Let me respond.
I'm going to answer your question. If they have the resources to, it's fair game. If somebody threatens you
100.
to invade your country,
100.
and if you got the resources to fire first, why not?
Preach.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point, Dinus. They're trying to
I mean,
hide.
come
They're
on.
trying to lie.
That's like me. That's like me. Hold on,
Dinus,
Mike.
can I
That's like
jump in real quick?
Yeah, give me a second. That's like me saying, "Hey, Kala, when you at home at your house, man, I'm pulling up and I'm gonna come see you." If Kala's like, "Listen, I'm coming after you first," that's fair game.
Exactly.
You know what the
I
difference
didn't know
is?
you
Get
said
up
that.
on them before they get up on you.
Listen.
Exactly.
Listen. Paul Kagame is a serious leader. Felix is a clown. Point blank. Period. End of discussion.
No, no.
Next
Facts.
speaker.
Felix is a clown. Kagame is competent and an excellent leader.
Exactly.
Kagame is not an excellent leader. First of all, just because
Look at his children. Look at his children. Look at Felix kids. Tell me who's a good leader and tell me who's a puppet.
Nobody is saying that Felix is a good leader. Most Congolese don't want Felix.
All right, exactly. And no one is here saying, "Oh, he's
and
the
let
best
me
leader."
tell you
My
again
point is,
something.
when you guys, Skylar
Felix-
is trying to defend Kagame and saying that he does not have troops on the ground, but in the same tone, he's saying in the same thing, he's saying, "Oh yeah, well he has the right to send the troops because Felix said he's sending his troops."
Where is
So you
the
don't make any
evidence?
sense.
No, I didn't.
Just admit
I didn't
it.
say no.
Just admit
I
it.
said-
Just admit
Look,
it. Just admit
M23
it.
is
Just admit that they sent in their
M23
troops
is
to M23.
I said, where is
M23
the
are
video?
Tutsi troops.
No. Oh, hell no.
M23 are Congolese. They're
M23
Tutsi
is Congolese.
Why
no, they're not
Tutsis
just
are
Tutsi.
Congolese?
They're not just
Tutsis are
Tutsi.
Congolese.
They're
They are
not just
Tutsi.
Tutsi.
Okay, the leader is not Tutsi, but they are Tutsi and they're Rwandan soldiers as well.
See there? See, she's backtracking. She's backtracking now. All right?
I'm not backtracking. I'm telling the facts. I'm telling the facts. The leader. Listen, I'm not backtracking. I'm telling you the facts. The leader has said the leader is not a Tutsi. However, the majority of the soldiers are Tutsi.
How do you know that?
And
How do you know how many Tutsi are there? How do you know that are non-Tutsi and Tutsi? How do you know that? If the leader is non-Tutsi, how do you know that everybody else is non-Tutsi? How do you know that?
I'm not saying everyone else is not. I'm saying most of them are. That's my argument. Most of them are.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Because the United Nations is on the ground there, and they're the ones that are reporting it. That's how.
Oh God! Oh my God!
And like
Dinus, I wanted to answer something that Kyler said earlier about the presence of Rwanda troop in Congo.
Go ahead, Murph.
All right, thank you very much for the speech. Listen, I may not have a good recollection of the exact year. It could be either between 2020, 204 or maybe 206. Don't quote me on that one. In 2019, listen to me, in 2019, the ICC ruled, actually ordered Uganda to pay reparations to Congo. Do you want to know why? Because Uganda and Rwanda, they were fighting in Kisangani, inside of Congolese soil, over some mining sites. For some of you that don't know, actually, Uganda also has a part in this, but Uganda's name doesn't really come up first because Rwanda had a direct involvement in the instability in Congo, of course, used by Western puppets to reach their objectives. So, Paul Kagame has exploited even the FDLR presence in Congo and all that. Everything people are saying about those guys being old is actually true. There is no threat of any Hutu trying to go topple Paul Kagame. So if you don't know anything about the ICC ordering Uganda to pay reparations to Congo, and the only reason Rwanda wasn't even named or were ordered to pay is because they have been protected for a very, very long time. If we are paying attention what is happening now in Africa, even talking about Burkina Faso and all that, that's exactly what France used to do. You know, sponsoring terrorism to destabilize the country. Now they see what France is going through. They're getting kicked out everywhere. A lot of presidents now, even Western powers, they realize if we continue with this approach of supporting like these other groups, while China, it is actually dominating in the entire Africa. America, they stood up there like, you know what? we're going to go a different route. That's why Donald Trump and all of these guys, they're sanctioning Rwanda, because they know it is actually the truth that Rwanda has been killing in Congo. I mean, this is a genocide we're talking about. Over 2 million of Congolese people died from these conflicts. And I am so surprised that people here, they just go and they look at Paul Kagame like this Pan-Africanist who, you know, is like the one of the best leaders. I can agree when you say Tshisekedi is the clown and all these other guys. Yes, I agree with you, including Laurent Desire Kabila, the same guy that Paul Kagame supported. You want to know why Paul Kagame did everything till they assassinated this guy? Because when he took power, he did not want to allow them to have control over the resources of Congo and actually have top military personnel in a position of power in Congo so they will rule Congo the way they wanted to. Kabila actually offered them a check, to write them a check to kick all of them out. Angola was a part of it. Zimbabwe was a part of it. All of those countries, they left without no problem. Why only Rwanda? Why only Rwanda? All of these countries, even Burundi at some point, they had a part of it. But Angola left it alone. Zimbabwe left it alone. South Africa left it alone. You know, only Uganda and Rwanda. Even Uganda name, it doesn't come up as much in the news. But trust me, if you do your research, even Uganda has a lot to do with it. Trust me.
Let me just add, Kagame's a real thing.
I got to pass the mic. Kala Genesis, go ahead, Kala. Unmute yourself, Kala. Mute yourself, Kala. Kala.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, okay. I'm on a computer, so I should be stable now, unless I get a power failure. You know, but I see we got Lewis. Is that Lewis? Oh Lord.
Yeah, hello, brother. Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's up, Lewis? Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I want to know. No one's asking the question. If Congo is the innocent one, right? Look, Diane, today I watched a video about the full video. I've seen it before about what they did to Patrice Lumumba. It was his own people, the Congolese, right? Do you know they stripped this man, the president, prime minister, naked? You know, butchered him, put his body in acid, right? And the Belgium took some of his teeth and kept it in Belgium as souvenirs, right? While they celebrated this guy Mobutu taking power and everything like that. This is what you're dealing with. You know, they took Patrice Lumumba, the most brilliant African leader of the 20th century. He basically had the blueprint to liberate Africa and make Africa a place where African Black people could have a home and build and live with our peace and dignity. So this is what you're going through. So this destabilization of the Congo has been going on for a long time. So when people come up here and act like Paul Kagame, these are nothing but Negropeans, agents in this chat room talking about Paul Kagame. This is deeper than Paul Kagame. This is a geopolitical avenue. You got the friend. No, I have not heard one person mention the Belgium in here. I have not heard nobody hear the Australians, the British who had him killed. The British was the one who had him killed, and the CIA. I have yet to hear anybody talk about the CIA. I have yet to hear anybody talk about all this. And the same people now who might be coming back under Donald Trump, the CIA, the Belgium, all these people for minerals and everything. No one's saying about that. But your whole focus is on little tiny Rwanda. I think that's very suspect, you know?
Oh.
This is why
The conversation is about Rwanda. That's why. The conversation is about Rwanda.
Oh, Rwanda. We look at Rwanda. Those of us in the West, we look at Rwanda, and that's a country. A lot of people say, you know, I can give up my middle class suburban life in America to live in Rwanda. I can't say that about most countries in Africa. You know, most countries in Africa, you cannot get Black people from the West to go there. You know,
can I speak?
No. It's not your turn, Lou. Let me pass it to Nigel. Go ahead, to Nigel.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, yes, brother.
Greetings, diners, and greetings to all the panelists, the chat, and the viewers. I don't know why we are doing like who is the bad guy, who is the good guy. There's no bad guy or good guy in this leadership in Africa that we've seen. They are all terrible people that have been, I guess, depending on how you want to call it, they are terrible, for sure, incompetent, given the results that we are seeing on the ground. What I tend to see in Africa is that they use small countries against big countries. Funny enough, Nigeria is one of the few that hasn't fallen to that. Maybe that's why Nigeria somehow is managing to get its act together. If you look at Ethiopia, they use Eritrea and all the other smaller countries to surround Ethiopia and keep it inland. The powerful nations are often destabilized and kept kind of neutered. In the case of Nigeria, it's division that they used to neuter Nigeria and keep us the way we are. In the case of South Africa, we know the ones that are keeping them in check. So you see these dynamics that plays itself so perfectly that you begin to wonder, is this by design or is it just by coincidence that we are like this? And I'm beginning to think that it's not by coincidence, it's by design. Kagame is just as bad as Tshisekedi. Tshisekedi is maybe even worse. Because at least Kagame, to an extent, is like if you look at life expectancy in Rwanda, they have slightly higher life expectancy than that of this in Congo. So in the end, we all have to take a responsibility for the countries we are running. And the Rwanda that we say that is quite great, it's not even close to any Western nation at all. Not even close. And the DRC, not even close. Instead of them to be working together to try to come up with solutions that will actually enrich both sides, they are busy fighting. And we are here arguing amongst ourselves. What we should be doing is, why are you idiots fighting? No matter how you do it, if you stop fighting and start sharing, you're all going to be better off. That is a simple formula.
Sorry to interrupt you, brother. Do you remember you always used to say that you need a strong army? Remember?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
This is example of what having a weak army is. When a little country can just run into your country and slap you up like a bitch and manipulate your situation. So what you said in the past in terms of strong army, I fully understand. I never got with it because I thought that was typical, that everybody should know that. But what we're observing here is when you're not able to protect your basic stuff that you have, this is what happens. The wolves will be around to get in. The one in answer to Carla, I've said it before in the previous show, not to take your time, I'll be very quick. Dwight Eisenhower gave the go-ahead at the time during the Cold War for the killing of Patrice Lumumba because he didn't want the minerals in DRC to fall in the hand of the Soviet. Okay, but since then,
it's not Kennedy, but he didn't know about it.
No, it's Dwight Eisenhower. He actually ordered it. Yeah, because all the papers came out, all the paperwork already come out.
They paid Mobutu 250,000 to kill Lumumba.
And then they put Mobutu second, the most demonic bastard, second to Kotoka, who built the airport that all the stupid Ghanaians allowed to be internationalized. That was an agent, big agent. And then obviously later on we had Kabila who was trying to make a difference. His son didn't make a difference. Paul Kagame, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. And Skylar, I'm shocked at you. You can't have black people that simple. I'm sorry, we can't go nowhere if our people are that simple. Paul Kagame is a CIA-trained soldier who's working on behalf of the Europeans and America, whoever wants it. At the moment, right, 4 months ago, Paul Kagame signed a treaty with the EEC. I don't know what you guys get in America.
Hey, Louis,
it's on the BBC report. Hang on. Right? Because you can look this up. Paul Kagame signed a treaty with the EEC to provide them with certain minerals that are not in his country. You cannot keep listening. Things are so bad. The British government has had to distance themselves from Paul Kagame. They've put sanctions. Even the American government. Right, I'll put sanctions. Hang on. There is no way. Hang on. Listen to me. All Paul Kagame got is a couple of clean roads. They've shown it on YouTube, and you keep going on about that. He's a snake bastard. He's destabilizing Africa. He's destabilizing. He is destabilizing the Congo. He's a war criminal. There's no way you can support this man. Okay, very soon you all gonna walk backwards on this guy. The guy is a snake.
Hold on. Paul Kagame, why is he under sanctions then? You just said he's
under because he's a war criminal. He's invaded a neighboring country. Okay, he's invaded a neighboring country without any just cause.
Working for the West and be under sanctions at the same time.
I can answer that because they are playing. They will put him on the list and then they will remove him again. That's the play of the West.
Sorry, there was one country that stopped the whole of the EC from dealing with him. That's about 24 hours ago. They had a big meeting. Luxembourg. They used Luxembourg as an excuse to actually stop doing complete ban on Paul Kagame. If you go on the BBC, you will see the argument. I don't know if they're showing it in your country. I don't live in America. But sometimes I think you Americans are completely shut off. Go and look at the BBC report and you will see. It's so embarrassing.
I'm looking at it right now.
People are putting their hands up. Paul Kagame is a snake bastard. When the interview came up, what the lady mentioned earlier on, and asked him very simply,
Lewis,
how many...
Lewis, my good brother, how come
listen, you can't keep, so you're going to feel yourself very embarrassed if you keep supporting this Paul Kagame.
In your conversation, you don't have that fire and smoke for the Belgium, the Canadians.
This is not about them. We're talking about the cancer. The cancer.
It's not about them.
Brother, the cancer. Right, we will get to them. We are talking about the black on black crime. The demons who stab us in the back, and that's Paul Kagame. You don't switch that.
Let me just finish.
Paul Kagame is the one committing the crime.
Yeah, it's okay. I see. We have to look at it from the point of view of Paul Kagame. If he is sitting there watching Tshisekedi acting so compromised himself, because nobody can argue that Tshisekedi doesn't appear compromised, because you can see the state of his nation, a nation that is over 100 million. He can't even raise an army of 1 million. He can't, because he's run the country incompetently.
He's a puppet. He's gone in there and paid all his army people to step down. He done this work years ago. Now
he's a puppet. See, you can start from the area that is furthest away from Paul Kagame's area if you really want to build a security structure. And we can't keep making excuse for African leaders, because if you look at Kagame now, let me finish. The dynamics is that the way it works is that when someone like Kagame is on one side thinking, okay, he wants to be perfect, he wants to be the good guy, and he wants to make Kagame this Tshisekedi do the right thing. What if Tshisekedi is compromising and want to drag him down with him too? So the dynamics is just not right. In the sense that, okay, if Tshisekedi is trying, he is trying to do the right thing by Tshisekedi works with the so-called colonizers and Europeans that compromise his country.
No, he hasn't been.
Those people would empower him to go after Kagame. Who knows whether that's what happened before in Rwanda?
No, the people that he was mainly doing business with, don't forget, from Kabila time to now, has been the Chinese. Then they were dealing with Russia. Russia haven't really don't need that much minerals, so they haven't really been there that strong.
Hold on. Let me make the key point. Hold on, let me make the key point. The key point I want to make is that let's not worry too much about saying this one is bad, this one is good. Let's worry about
brother. Listen,
pushing them. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Good for Africa. He's working against African interests.
Let's see. It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Then what's the point of arguing?
Let me finish. What is important is we send a message and a signal that says, you know what, you all need to figure this out. Nobody is innocent here, because no matter what you like to think about it, no matter how innocent you like to think, when failure is happening around you, you have to be responsible.
Brother,
you have to take responsibility for that failure too.
Brother, DRC soldiers have not gone into the Rwanda. They have not. Their soldiers are living on their land. What the hell is M23, who are the Rwandan army? Because they run the special forces. We know that because of the weapons they're using.
I agree with you on that. Like,
that's what the UN are saying.
Hold on, I'm not disagreeing with you on that point. I'm not saying that if you want to look at who is doing something physically.
You just go to the UN. Come on.
I'm not saying that you should not look at it. Hold on, let me finish what I'm saying, please, so I can get on. I'm not saying that if you want to look at who you should call out and who you should just push aside, you can call out Kagame that, okay, you went into the other Congo. That's true, and I have condemned Kagame for that. But the signal we are getting here is that this one is bad, as if the other one is good. The other one is terrible too. That is the problem. So you have to start pushing both of them to do the right thing.
He hasn't sent an army into Rwanda. This is the problem.
But look at his country. Look at the state of. Are you not the one saying that he didn't secure his country here? Look at the state of his country.
He didn't get his country right, but that's his problem, right?
That is his problem.
Kagame, listen, hear me out, brother. Paul Kagame has had an army, a stable army, for about 30 years. Okay, this man, since after Kabila went and so on, with so many invasions to his country, the country is huge. He hasn't been able to put together a good army. And those armies that were there, he took, and whether you're Tutsi, who's he didn't matter. But what Paul Kagame was doing, because his specialty is spy. That's what his special thing when he was studying in America. He has got the hold of all the DRC army people, and he's got them to desert, and he's paying them money. You don't know how
The
that guy works. He
DRC,
works for PR.
the
Yeah,
DRC army is infiltrated by Rwandan
thank you
because there was
completely.
a
This man has
conflict
been working
already
on it for
before,
over 30
and the European Union decided
If
that.
I can interject, but this is the issue again. The DRC's army is allegedly been infiltrated by Rwanda. Where's Congolese leadership at?
There is no Congolese leadership, and there will be not. They will not allow it. You know, the thing was in Burkina Faso. If you look to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, they were in the same problem. The leaders, they were working with the West against their own people, and they were weakening the army. So there was somebody who needed to make a coup d'etat. That's how things change. In Congo, they need a coup d'etat of somebody like Ibrahim Traoré also. But I don't think that anything will change. Look at Congo, it's so rich. Nobody wants to have a stable government there. Nobody.
Brother, listen, the problem, what Dynasty is saying is that at the end of the day, you guys are the ones, the keepers of your own land.
Yeah,
you should be making sure, from time immemorial, you should be making sure someone like Rwanda, and you know what he's about, should not have the capabilities of just walking into your country like that.
Yeah.
Okay, you the only, listen, that guy needs to step down. The woman who brought the case to the UN, that light-skinned woman, she should be leading your country. I'm sorry at the moment, because your men, I work with 8, 10 of your men at work. I ask them about this question, not one of them got a single thing to say. They look at me like I'm mad, like I'm from DRC.
Yeah, me too. I'm not from DRC. I'm from I'm not from DRC.
Yeah, sorry. You know, at the end of the day, let's call it what is. Paul Kagame is a snake bastard, and we've got to stop defending him. I understand you can't make no excuses. You got your borders. What the hell you do in the next man's country? And why should they come to you to talk about peace if you got nothing to do with it? He can't even answer basic questions put to him by the BBC.
The thing is that there is a guy called Kayumba Nyamwasa. He used to be the head of spies, the head of military secret service.
With a white beard? Is he the guy with a white beard in the army gear working for?
Yeah. So he's living in South Africa. Yeah. And he had an interview about the Congolese situation, and he's explaining everything exactly like this. So he has been there since the genocide. He was fighting along Paul Kagame, and then when Paul Kagame started to looking too much at Congo, he told him and some other officers, look, we didn't fight for that. We didn't fight to invade Congo, and that's when they started to have problems with Paul Kagame. Paul Kagame killed several people of them.
Oh, no,
several. He's living in South Africa, and they are fearing that. Rwanda is the only country in Africa I know that can successfully kill people outside of Africa without problem. And Paul Kagame was trained by the West. He was trained by the CIA. And he received military aid every year, and he can buy whatever he wants. While Congo, they are not even allowed to buy artillery. The same situation was in Burkina Faso. In Burkina Faso, you had so-called French army training the Burkinabe.
Stop it. The Congo's not allowed to buy artillery. Stop it.
They are not allowed to buy it in the West.
This is the problem. You guys are acting like Rwanda is backed by the West in the same matter of Israel.
They are. At the moment, the EEC is the main one backing Paul Kagame at the moment. Right? The EEC. Go on the BBC report. They had 24 hours ago, they just had a big meeting about putting sanctions on Rwanda, and only Luxembourg, their vote stopped it. And there's a report on the BBC. You go and you see. The BBC, EEC signed a contract with Kagame 4 months ago. And the activists are the ones bringing this case. Right? Why are you signing a deal with this man who's obviously now a war criminal? Because their name boy on the ground is gone out of hand now.
Do you know how they kept Africa very, 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 how to say, not strong? Well, they used to go, the French especially were a specialist of that. They used to go to countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, Central Republic of Africa. They train so-called trained soldiers, but they don't train them really. They train them and they don't sell them. They don't allow them to use auto weapons. So that whenever there is a problem, they need to call to the West. They need to call the West and come and help them. That's how most African countries are kept weak militarily. And Congo, with Congo, it's the same thing. You can go and listen to the interviews of Ibrahim Traore. He explains you exactly how it works.
And that is our problem. Any people that outsource their ability to survive to other people have given up their right to survive. And that is the problem with many of our leaders. And we have allowed it because we are unaware of this aspect. Nobody teaches you this in college or at universities or even on the news. These are things you realize by yourself, by common sense. And but that's where we are.
And the thing is also the media plays a huge role. We look all to Western media and so on. We are all influenced by it. And we go always back to the West and ask them for help. Like you say, like the president of Congo. He used to live in Belgium. His own environment has been about looking how the West lives and so. And when he needs help, where does he go? To America, to France, and so. Apparently, the Russian offered him to help him with the Congolese problem. He didn't answer to them.
Anyway, that's his problem. But the thing is, I want us to focus on Kagame. We are too easily fooled in the Pan-African world thinking that, no, that guy is not our man. He's Snake. He's been there too long.
The thing is also he's working with, he has a lot of public relation firms that help him. When you are with the West, they help you with military, public relations, and diplomacy. And that's the reason most of the people think that Paul Kagame is very good and so on, but it's because of the media, the public relations.
So Antoine, are you saying that Tshisekedi can't hire PR firms?
He is not capable of doing it because he's not mentally fit. He's put there.
So he can't get weapons. He can't hire PR firms. It's just the Congo is just helpless and hopeless. Good Lord.
Well, he's not a good leader. Let's be honest. He's just a stupid leader. But the point of the matter is, you've got no
he's not capable of doing that.
Country and stealing. And that's what he's doing.
He's incompetent, but he's the president of the Congo. Oh,
yeah.
Man, it's shit.
Oh, come on.
And when he's gone, they will put another one. If Burkina Faso wouldn't have done a coup d'etat, we still would be there with incompetent leaders. That's how it functions. You put people there that cannot govern the country, and then you set them run against each other. That's I don't know why people are for people it is so difficult to see that. That has been going on like this since 500 years.
The more I hear the excuses from people that support the Congo, the more I'm like, just let Kagame just have the Congo.
No. I hear what you're saying, Dylan.
It's no excuse. It's no excuse.
There's no excuse for you to go in the next man country. We can't excuse this.
You guys might as well just sign a deal with the guy. Like, you might as well just sign a deal with the guys that, hey, Kagame, listen, we ain't got it. We ain't got our shit together over in the Congo. Come on, Kagame, just take it over. I mean, God, the
sad thing
is, oh Lord, just give it to Kagame. Just give it to him.
What is the kid that have said?
Let me read the super chats. Zola, the root of this whole conflict is the Rwandan genocide, and to a lesser extent, the assassination of Patrice Lumumba. $5 holla. There needs to be reconciliation between Congo and Rwanda, and neither Kagame or Tshisekedi are handling the situation correctly. Shah, thank you for the $4.99. Yeah, I mean, the more excuses and we can't do this, we can't do that. The UN.
These are not excuses.
I think Kagame is the perfect man for the job.
These are not. These are not excuses. These are the explanation to understand what is going on. If we don't understand it, we will not take the right decision. So what I tell you again is that Paul
Okay, we
Kagame
all
is a
have
puppet,
different understandings.
and Tshisekedi is a puppet as well. What we need to do as a people is to educate ourselves. That when somebody
Educate or
comes,
indoctrinate?
yeah.
Which
I
one?
mean, we are
Educate or
so
because all
indoctrinated
of us
by the
have
West.
some level
It's
of
unbelievable.
education on this situation. All of us have a certain level of education about this topic, this situation. It seems that Congolese people feel like they have more insight than people who aren't of Congolese descent or who are not Congolese themselves. But we have access to information as well.
Either way, though, brother, what excuse has Paul Kagame got to be in DRC? That war was over 30 years ago.
The Hutu terrorists.
Kagame is being a
See,
competent leader.
They're
He's
not
protecting his people.
Listen. There's nothing terrorist about it. The Tutsis in Rwanda only make up 14% of the population. You know that. We're in Rwanda right now.
That's okay.
Right.
Okay.
Hear me out. 85% of his government are all Tutsis. There's no Hutsis. So where is he coming from trying to make
You said
things?
85%. So who are the other 15%? Are no Hutsis a part of the other 15%?
No, there's a small. I think there's a small percentage.
Oh, okay, so they make up some of it.
But I'm talking about the two main people that dominate the whole area, DRC and Rwanda. But in Rwanda itself, Paul Kagame's actual group only comes up to 14% of the population.
I gotta look up the numbers. I ain't gonna take what you said verbatim, bro.
They would never have a one election, nor would he have ever been leader in that situation. Okay, that's why the people I know from DRC are pointing to this. But either way you look at it, this is 30 years from the war. There's no excuse for him to be going in for nothing. That's why when he was questioned by the BBC, and he's a black guy as well, right? How many? Right, he's saying that DRC are coming to his country, Congo, and causing trouble. He asks them, how many Congolese troops roughly do you have in Rwanda causing problem? He said, oh, I don't know. And the guy said to him, you're commander-in-chief. He couldn't even answer the most basic shit because he knows he's got the West back in him. He's got that.
The West is back in Congo too. Why do you keep saying that?
Because when they want minerals,
they're back in
they go to
Tshisekedi as
him
well.
for it.
Hey, yo, Louis, this will make you lose credibility.
Just go on what the BBC report, because I don't know what you guys are getting in America.
Are you saying Donald Trump is not the West anymore? He's not the West?
I'm not talking about Donald Trump is not at the moment too bothered at the moment. He hasn't really got it. It's the
Okay, the West is back in Felix Tshisekedi as well.
The EEC are the ones going in there and signing deals.
White America is going to have power over.
Did you not hear? When Donald Trump said that?
UK.
To go against America.
Hold on, Lou. Let me pass it to Colin. I got to pass it to Sean and Alan. Go ahead, Colin.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. Donald Trump is signing a deal with the Congo to take full control.
No, he hasn't signed that deal.
But he's going to, if he says he's going to do it.
He hasn't signed that deal. He hasn't signed it.
It's even a principle of the thing. Why would a black country, right? The Congo, that's where my ancestors came from, right? The bottom line is, why would they give that over to the most powerful country in the world that oppresses black people, that claims to oppress black people?
Because that idiot, Taylor, is a stupid leader. He's an idiot himself.
You have not said one word about that, but the nickels and dime Paul Kagame might be making, you got a problem with it. I got something wrong.
Listen, he's stealing it from next door. What are you talking about, nickels and dime?
6 million people.
New voice. Let me piggyback on what Carla was saying. So it's a lot going on, but this is where it gets me, right? All these people are vying for position and who's getting the little crumbs here and there. But the real deal is this, and this is going to set a precedent that will certainly turn the big dragon toward whoever can do it, which is take control of the resources. Take control of it.
You can't do that.
Right, but I'm saying
you've got your own region. Why are you going in
Let me finish. Whoever's going to get in the position and control the area, control the region, everybody's vying for it. And while everybody's vying for it, those resources do not stop leaving. They continue to pour out, and they're getting pennies. Kagame is getting a small amount, but it's a lot of money because there's so much going out. So I'm saying whoever's going to take, and I'll end on this point. whoever's going to take control of it, I hope that they are in the right code, they're on code and have the right ideology and are ready to, rock and roll and align themselves with other folks, because United States and anybody else is not going to be so easy visibly to just declare a total send their army in like that. They have to be very diplomatic. So they can do it through these proxies, through these mercenaries, and through these little groups. But yeah, that's what I want to say.
No, I think the United States will send troops.
Let me pass the mic to Alan. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, I do not understand what people are having such a difficult time understanding about this situation. Kala hit it right on the head. The issue is that those resources have been being siphoned out of that region for over a century now, right? And somebody's going to take control of it. For you guys to sit up there and to bitch and moan and complain because Paul Kagame went and took a little bit and is trying to take some control of it.
He didn't take a little bit. He's stealing the resources of the country.
Can you be quiet?
What the hell are you going to support a crook? He's a burglar. He's stealing shit and you supporting him.
Why he keep crying?
Man, no wonder why you got gangsters in your fucking neighborhood.
Man, you're crying, man. Come on, be quiet. Let me talk.
Go ahead,
The issue I have is that you cry, bitch, and moan because this man went up there and took some stuff, right? But at the end of the day, you guys are having a complete failed state, a complete incompetent government, filled with people who are dressing up as dandies and huts and doing all kinds of stupid stuff. That's what people all over Africa know that what people in that country are good for, which is do nothing, dance, right? And you admit that you have a complete incompetent leader in there who isn't able to do anything, to the point where instead of letting Paul Kagame take what he's going to take and have a black man in any control of it, you'd rather go ahead and call for the United States to come over.
You didn't listen, my friend. He's calling for whoever he can.
Hold on. You'd rather call for the United States because the United States has a great track record. And we have a guy in office right now who saw what he was going to do to Ukraine, right? He takes advantage of any situation, takes his elbow, place it firmly in your back, and screws you out of all your resources. But you'd rather do that than to have Paul Kagame take some.
He's complicit.
Crazy.
I think,
yeah, but
Alan, I think you don't understand the situation. I think the problem is that by letting Paul Kagame going and taking it, you let the United States and Europe going and take it. That's what it means. It's not Paul Kagame who is taking it by himself. It's the United States of America who is taking it, and they don't want it. They don't want to buy it directly through Congo because they know that they would have to pay a higher price. So it's cheaper to use Paul Kagame and take it. And by the way, Paul Kagame doesn't only play for the West in Congo. He's also protecting Total in Mozambique.
Paul
Kagame equals the West. Okay,
Part of the deal is that's the issue. The president of the Congo wants military assistance against Rwanda. So that doesn't make any sense. You didn't make no sense.
Nobody of us takes the president of Congo seriously. Nobody. Nobody.
But you're making my point. The point is that you guys have a complete failed state that anybody can take.
No, it's not failed because it's doing the exact same thing that it was set up to do. It's doing the same thing Zaire was set up to do. DRC is the same as Zaire. It's set up to be a colonial state, so they're doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Yeah, that's what it's set up to do.
What this guy is basically saying is that if you live next door to someone, when you go to work or whatever time, someone comes in, burgles your house, that's all right because he's got a gun and he's strong. That's how stupid your argument is.
That's not the argument at all. The argument is this.
Okay? You trying to tell me because he's going to supply a thing to the West, that should be all right because he's a strong man.
Listen to Alan's argument. Go ahead,
The argument is this. It's not as micro as going to somebody's house and taking stuff. The point is that somebody's going to take that stuff because you have a failed state that's unable to defend, unable to govern, unable to refine the resources, unable to do anything. And if I have to pick who I want to go in there and benefit from it, I'm gonna pick the guy who turned around the failed state and made it into a decent country. That guy knows. That guy knows what he's doing.
Brother, are you calling Rwanda a decent country?
Rwanda is a decent country.
Are you calling Rwanda or Kigali? Are you calling Rwanda or Kigali?
Yeah, Rwanda is. Rwanda is the best country besides South Africa. For
Okay, I have been to Rwanda, by the way. I have been to Rwanda, and I know Rwanda, and it is a very beautiful country. But the only thing is that the people there, they are not allowed to speak up about politics. Paul Kagame is controlling everything, and they are living off the resources of Rwanda, of Congo, and the help from the West. So Rwanda also looks beautiful. Looks beautiful, but when you look deep, it is also a failed state. What kind of state is that? That depends on the West and the minerals of the neighbor.
When an African country is doing so well, when the country right next to it is so dysfunctional and messed up. Why? How are they allowed to do that? You know, you got to look at that. You know, anytime you do good, anytime you start doing good. See, the thing about it is that the DRC should have the DRC should have the revolution should have changed the DRC to be a new state, but it didn't, because it just went from Zaire to DRC, the same thing, and the only thing that's going to change it is a revolution. And anybody that's doing good, that's living, that's in Africa, if they're not the Sahel region or something like the Sahel, they're soon put down, disrupted, destabilized, if they're doing something that would be beneficial to us as a people.
And discredited.
The guns more than that. In over for Africa.
They're doing the same thing
to both. And you guys are supporting a gun-shooting bastard called Paul Kagame. You guys are joke, man. You supporting the gangster.
Hold on, check this out. You got same people running around big fake Pan-Africans trying to do the same thing to Botswana. You know? Same thing.
Okay, I don't understand that.
Botswana has never invaded anybody. I don't know. I don't think that's
you guys are actually supporting a gangster.
Botswana is a beautiful country, and they are working by themselves. They are.
There's people now basically talking about
I'm going to support all the gangsters in the black neighborhood. That's what I'm going to do, because he's a strong man. Gordon Bennett, you Americans think, what the hell? What kind of thinking do you have? You trying to tell me that you're going to support the gangster? You support gangsters now?
There's nobody more gangster than the Western.
That's crazy.
There's no bigger gangster.
He's a security issue, Lewis. He's a security
issue. That's Western media. That's Western media.
You are going
working into the brain.
This conversation is us having an understanding of how the world works. And how the world works is somebody's going to take those resources. Somebody's going to take them. And either you continue to give them hand them over to the West, okay, or you allow somebody who on the continent to go ahead and figure something out, who knows what they're doing.
That's our choices. That's our choices.
Those are the only choices at this point.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
you have to have a mind that's freer than that.
The only problem is that Kagame is sending it over to the West.
Is this what you want to do to Afghanistan? Is this what you want to build the Afghanistan with? Lawlessness?
Can I jump in?
That's what you want to do with Afghanistan.
One thing I would say is this. Me personally, right? This idea that a white country, white America, I have nothing against Donald Trump. I said, render to Caesar that which is Caesar's. He won the election. I support him. I voted for him. Let him take America, right? But when it comes to Africa, that's my mother continent, right? He has absolutely no business over there. And anybody who does business with him is a racist.
So far, he hasn't said anything really about what he's watching.
He did. You know, they offered him, and then 2 days later, he said, "I accept." You know, they offered him, and he replied,
"Bro, do you want to punish the whole population of Congo because of this president?"
The U.S. is already there. The U.S. is already there. Okay, quiet as it's kept.
Right, the DRC have taken Apple Computer a month and a half ago to the UN. There's a court case going on right now.
Yo, in the DRC, Louis,
and you can look it up on Google. You can Google it. Don't come for me.
With their
Hey, Diners, can I jump in?
The same UN that
Yeah,
had
yeah, guys.
16,000
Let me pass it.
peacekeepers there stealing resources.
Let me
Well,
pass
that's
it,
the
y'all. Go ahead.
wrong quote. That's where you go to
Let me
quote,
pass it.
brother.
Pass the mic to y'all. Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead, y'all.
That Rasta man gets taking the piss. That brother there, he
Go
knows
ahead,
he's
y'all.
not feeling about body.
Yeah, hello. So, salute, Diners, and salute to the chat panel.
Yeah, hello.
You know, me as an African American, I've been looking into this situation, and I think I can sort of give my sort of maybe I can break it down and kind of divide it and see we can get to a solution, right? So I think in order to understand what's happening between Congo and Rwanda, we would have to. This is a multifaceted issue, right? But I think in order for us to understand it, we have to get to the root of the problem or the root of what's happening, right? So I would say the root of it is the Rwandan genocide. This is the root of the problem.
No, bruh.
Listen, let me talk. Let me talk.
No.
I just got here.
You're
I just got here. Let me talk.
No, let him talk. Let him talk, please.
So I would say the root of the problem is the root of it is the Rwandan genocide, and I would say to a lesser extent it's the assassination of Patrice Lumumba. I think this also plays a role in it, right? So what happened in Rwandan genocide is you had, and I would say the root of the situation of that is Europe, is Germany and Belgium, because these people came into Rwanda. They divided these people, the Tutsis and the Hutus, prior to the Europeans getting there. The Hutus and Tutsis wasn't a racial classification. It was a class sort of distinction between the Hutus and the Tutsis. When the Europeans, the Germans and the Belgians came there, they made it into a racial classification, and they placed the Tutsis in the role of leadership. This, alienated obviously the Hutu people, which
Hey, John, you gotta stop
rise.
fighting your mic.
Excuse me.
I said somebody's playing with their mic. Pause.
Yeah,
Stop fighting
please.
your mic.
So the Hutus, they decided to rise up, and they, you had some Hutus militias. They started to slaughter the Tutsis. This was a wrong thing, in my opinion. But so after this happened, Paul Kagame, he's a military guy, right? He comes into leadership and starts to attack the Hutus. A lot of the Hutus end up fleeing into Congo, right? So this is where I would say the assassination of Patrice Lumumba plays into it, because during the time of the Hutu militias fleeing into Congo, they were accepted by Mobutu Sese Seko. And this was a wrong thing. I think as a leader of Congo, he should have played the role as a mediator between the Hutus and the Tutsis, and instead he sided with the Hutus, possibly because they were like a Bantu people or whatever. I'm not sure, but he sided with the Hutu militias, and these Hutu militias started to attack Rwanda from the borders of Congo. So
can I tell you something?
Mobutu Sese Seko and Joseph Kabila, they destroyed the relationship between Congo and Rwanda. This is the problem. So when we look at it, I think if we can get to a solution, I would say there needs to be a reconciliation between Congo and Rwanda. And I would say that the Hutu genocide it seems like an open scab. It's still not healed. There's no reconciliation. Let me finish.
Okay.
So I would say a possible solution. I would say a possible.
The floor is Jaws. He super chatted, like
Thank
$40. So Jaws, you take your time. Nobody.
Yeah. So I would say a possible solution, in my opinion, right? This is what I put in, right? A possible solution, I would say, both these leaders, Kagame and Tshisekedi, they're not handling the situation, and they're actually making it worse, and it's becoming a problem. It's actually becoming a problem for the whole of Africa, because now we have instability in this region where you have ISIS starting to creep in, and they're genociding Congolese people. So this is a problem for Africa. You understand what I'm saying? So I think a possible solution is that this guy, Paul Kagame, I think he should be investigated for war crimes. I think he should be investigated for war crimes. And when it comes to Tshisekedi, let me finish. When it comes to Tshisekedi, we know that this guy, it seems like he's incompetent. Let's be honest here, right? So then he needs to step down and hold elections into Congo. But there needs to be leaders in Rwanda and Congo. There needs to be leaders in Rwanda and Congo that's gonna build a bridge and look into history and try to fix this thing and heal the situation, because this is the root of the problem. It's the genocide, the Rwandan genocide, and again, the assassination of Patrice Lumumba. So that's what I would say. And then let me add this: when it comes to the Banyamulenge, because a lot of my Congolese brothers and sisters will say these people are not Congolese. I think they are incorrect, right? I think the Banyamulenge people are they are Tutsi people, right? They're obviously culturally they're a pastoralist people, right? Or they align with pastoralist people. So they are Tutsi, but that doesn't mean that they're not Congolese, right? So when we're talking about the current iteration of Congo and Rwanda, these are European-made borders. You understand what I'm saying? So these people live there, right? I think this is true. These people live there, so they are Congolese, but they're also ethnically Tutsi or Tutsi related. Now, when we look at the Tutsi people, these are semi-Bantu people. You know what I mean? These people are a mixture of Cushitic, Nilotic, and Bantu people. So this is why you might hear some Congolese will say, "Oh, Tutsis are not Congolese," because they to them they're not Bantu, but they are Bantu. They're mixed people. So that's all I wanted to say.
What about the money? You left that part out. The money. Who's going to control the money?
So I mean, if we're talking about the problem, we have to get to the root of it. I mean, the money can come later, but I think these two leaders are causing instability in Africa.
But that's the main reason for the destabilization.
That's not the main reason. That's a new thing. It's not the main reason. I would say it's not the root. That's not the root reason of what's happening. Because you see, Paul Kagame, this guy, all he's doing is continuing what happened to him. He's a military guy. He lived through the genocide. So he's
making excuses.
I'm not
confusing the situation.
No, he's not making excuses. I think it's true that Kagame is a military guy.
Listen. I'm not making excuses because I'm looking at it from an objective standpoint. I'm not siding with either side. I'm looking at it from an objective standpoint, and my goal is for stability in Africa and stability in that region, because I recently watched a video of ISIS literally genociding men, women, and children in Congo, and this is a fucking problem. So we need that right there. That should rise something within you.
Somebody
To like,
like
all right, we need to fix
Kagame
this.
could stop that from happening. It's funny that people are saying this. Oh, he's he's committed war crime. Y'all have said the same thing about Shaka Zulu. But
what the hell was that going to do to Shaka Zulu? That was 18th century.
It don't matter.
Listen, you guys are jumping all over the place. Yeah, I understand that you're trying to give us the history and all that. We got that.
Yo, I've heard people say, I heard Negro people say, Mansa Musa had slaves. Mansa Musa had slaves. You know?
Okay. Take the resources out, and then what do you have, Lewis? Take the resources out, and then you wouldn't have had no Belgium, no Germans. You wouldn't have had none of these problems if there were no resources. So I'm saying part of the solution has to deal with who's going to control the resources. You got to get them white boys out of there.
See, the thing is, you guys are focusing on the resources. Hold on, but you guys are focusing on the resources. Both countries are selling these resources raw materials. They're selling raw materials to other parties. So they're not even fully developing these resources and selling them and benefiting from it.
Because you've had your chance to speak. Hear me out. We understand where you're coming from. We're not displaying that. But when you make your point, you got to be a bit more specific, because you're going around the world too much. You've gone from Patrice Lumumba, which is in the 60s. You've gone straight across to Paul Kagame, this and that, and Tutsi.
These things are related. Yes, they are related. And I told you how they're related.
Right. The Tutsi problem was not there during Patrice Lumumba's time. They were not on that thing. Okay?
But listen, but the continuation of the Tutsi problem, it spilled into Congo. Why do you think? Why do you think there's? Hold on. Why did Congo accept these Hutu militias that were a part of the genocide? They accepted them into it. So now Congo becomes a part of the problem. Now Congo becomes
the German and Belgians are genocide. They were doing their machinations in Rwanda back in the fucking when? Right. When was they pitting each other against each other?
Right. Listen to me. I'm speaking as a continental African. Don't let that be an excuse. We've been living with the tribalism stuff in the borderline for years. Don't let that be an excuse now. Paul Kagame has run out of that excuse. That's why his Western backers are pulling out on him and putting sanctions on him.
Did you not hear my answer? I'm not siding with Kagame, and I'm not siding with Tshisekedi. I'm taking an objective standpoint on this. And I say both sides are wrong, and both leaders need to step down. That's my position.
Brother, listen to me. This man in DRC, whether you like him or not, he just won an election. He didn't even get to put together a proper cabinet. I used to ask the Congolese people I work with, why come this guy is taking so long to set up a cabinet thing, right? And they're telling me, oh, he wants to make sure he's got everybody on board. The country is big, and I understood that's fair enough. Then this thing happened. Then I got to find out that Paul Kagame has signed a deal with the EEC, okay, to supply them with certain amount of minerals he doesn't have in his own country. 4 months
What are
down the
those
line, what
minerals?
happened? He walks into the
They
country.
do have culture in
Yeah.
Rwanda, not on the level of Congo, but they do have they
I
do
want
have
to
it in
listen. At
mind.
the end of
They
the
have
day,
those resources in
right?
their land as well.
Listen. At the end of the
I
day,
want to see
you
that.
got no excuse to be in bloody DRC. You cannot excuse that. How the hell is he in DRC?
And I agree. Listen, and I agree on that point. And I agree on that point. This is why I say that Kagame needs to be investigated for war crimes because all he's doing is continue. Brother, you have to if you're gonna have a dialogue, you have to let the other person speak as well, bro.
You're complicating it.
You guys get so emotional. We're supposed to be men. You guys are getting emotional and talking over each other. Yeah, man, we supposed to be men. We can't be talking over each other like that, man. We have to have some decorum. But listen, Louis, I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at Paul Kagame, this guy's a war criminal. What's he doing in Congo? He's continuing what he experienced as a child, as a young man, which was the genocide. He has a vendetta towards the Hutu people and the Congolese people in general because of Mobutu Sese Seko and Joseph Kabila. They worsened the relationship between Congo and Rwanda. So my solution is that both leaders are wrong. Both leaders need to step down. Paul Kagame needs to be investigated for war crimes. And Tshisekedi needs to step down, and he needs to hold elections because these guys, they need to reconcile. Congo and Rwanda, these people are neighbors. These are neighbor countries. Hold on. These Congo and Rwanda are neighbor countries, and it needs to be a strong security in this region. If it's not, then ISIS will. Yeah, if there's no security in this region, then ISIS will continue to grow into Africa. That's what we don't want. That.
How long has Paul Kagame been in power?
I don't know why. What did he say that was so? Hold on. What did he just say that was so controversial? And Louis, you are so focused on Kagame, you are forgetting that he just mentioned that ISIS is killing Congolese.
I know.
When you should be trying to encourage people to band together to deal with this problem, you are worrying about only Kagame.
Look what happened in Libya. Look what happened when Muammar Gaddafi was taken out of Libya. You had ISIS and Al Qaeda. They started to spread throughout Africa from Libya. It created a power vacuum where ISIS and Al Qaeda can thrive in the chaos, and they began to expand throughout Africa. Now we're seeing ISIS attack in Congo. We're seeing it in Zimbabwe. Like this is a problem. So we have security needs to be a major priority.
When's the last time Kagame had the election? And you're pointing a problem at the man who came in through election? Come on, brothers.
Bro, are you listening? So you're being too emotional. You're not listening. I said Kagame needs to be investigated for war crimes. I'm not siding with Kagame, bro. What are you talking about?
By who? By who? Hague International Court? That's a joke. By who? Who's going to investigate him?
Guys,
who's our court? Who's our international court? White folks? White folks is our international court.
Well, if you have an issue with that, then black people, African people need to create our own institutions if you have an issue with that. But we don't have these institutions, so we have to rely on the ICJ and the ICC. We have to rely on it.
No, we don't have our own institutions. It's a farce. It's a farce.
To criminalize these people.
It's a farce. NATO, UN is a farce.
In reply to my brother,
but we can sit here and complain about the UN being a farce, but until we can create these institutions ourselves, then we have to rely on it to some degree. We have to rely on it.
No, because it's not serving us. Relying on it doesn't.
So what's the alternative? What's the alternative? If it's not serving us, what's the alternative?
Revolution. That's it. And that's all.
Bro, y'all talk about revolution. Y'all not ready for that revolution life, bro.
Well, then we're gonna take it in the shorts. Then we're gonna continue taking the shorts. So I don't like coups. But if we get lucky and get a coup like what happened in Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, and they're struggling.
Where should we have the coup, brother? Which country?
In the DRC.
Congo.
Ridiculous, man.
No.
Nigeria.
Paul Kagame's been in power for about 35 years. Why don't you have a coup there? He's
South
Africa.
Congolese are getting paid.
Paul Kagame is the problem.
Paid. That's why
Kenya, Nigeria, we need to get all those countries.
Luis, I think that even if we do it,
I gotta read the super chat. Laugh Aloud Noob. God, be quiet. Laugh Aloud Noob. Resources are not the issue. Thank you for the $49.99 holla. And yes, you could call in. Noob, click on the link, please. Please click on it. Let me count this up real quick. Hold on. Yeah, something.
Hey, why don't you guys put your face on the thing when you come on the show? There's only a few of us got our faces on.
They don't have to.
All right, Noob, click on the link, Noob. Noob, click on the link right now. Click on the link, Noob. Click on the link. Resources
so
are
mad,
not
bro?
the
But you
issue.
won't pick up a gun.
I gotta let me read this super chat. Resources are not the issue. Resources help fund the conflict, but it's not why the conflict exists. Trading between Rwanda and Congo has existed for years. Smuggling is being done by Congolese, and it's not only done between them. Yo, can I join down? Yeah, just click the link, put it in the chat room. All right, go ahead. Thank you for the $49.99 holler, by the way. And yeah, you guys can Cash App as well. Cash App.
Yeah, I use
Zelle.
Cash App for that little bit.
You accept shillings, Donis?
Man, y'all.
No, hold on. Somebody talking. Do I accept what?
Real quick, somebody in the chat said that ISIS is not in Africa. This is a lie, bro.
Somebody asked the question. Do I accept what?
Bro. It's a joke, bro. I was asking if you accept shillings. You good though?
I do. I accept shillings.
Everything.
I heard that.
Go ahead,
John.
Dinus.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, but somebody in the chat said, "Oh, ISIS is not in Africa. Or ISIS is not in Congo." They clearly didn't see the videos. What's happening in Congo?
Bro, what is that?
Literally,
no
ISIS is
Arabs in
bashing
the
the heads of
Congo.
Congolese men, women, and children.
Hold on, 180 Congolese Christians beheaded in the last 2 weeks.
That was through ISIS. Yeah, by ISIS.
Yeah, what is ISIS in Congo? What is that?
Well, they
That's some
recruit.
bullshit.
It's an ideology that has no place in Africa. That we need to work together.
Yeah, but in the
African countries
Congo,
need to work together to get it out of here.
When somebody becomes an Islamicist, they don't see themselves as black. They see themselves as Islamists.
That's a mercenary group. That's a
Well,
mercenary group.
that's not totally true, Carla. You have the AES. These people are majority Muslim people, but they're the ones who are fighting against
Those
ISIS
are
on the ground.
paid soldiers to do exactly what they're doing. Ain't no ISIS.
Hold up. When somebody becomes a fundamentalist, Wahhabism, that's a difference between African Muslim or something like that.
Yeah, but we also have fundamentalist Christians as well. Look at Headsmith. He's a fundamentalist.
Klan and far right groups. There's a difference.
You're getting cold. You're getting cold. Right.
Well, here's the deal, guys. The point that everyone's making about ISIS further proves my point that you need a man like Paul Kagame in order to regulate the situation.
Thank you.
You cannot.
That's all I'm saying.
The Democratic Republic of Congo is
brother, that would not fix. That's not going to fix the situation.
You cannot invade sovereign territory.
They cannot be trusted.
Hey, I'm trying to hear Alan. Go ahead, Alan. Let me pass it to you.
Alan go, bro. Like
the Democratic Republic of Congo does not have a functioning government, nor the army. Everyone's freely admitted they can't protect themselves. They can't run a government. The top of their government is completely incompetent. You don't see these type of problems happen in Rwanda. Why? Because of Paul Kagame. Kagame is a strong man that most of these African countries actually need. A benevolent dictator. Yes, to get things started and going right. There's no country that was in worse shape than Rwanda was in 94, 95, 96. And he went up there and he solved many problems. He may not like the way he solved all the problems, but the problems that were solved. And so, I have people on this panel pretending like Rwanda is some failed state and not the envy of other African countries, and that's just not true.
It's really not. You only have Kigali, which is developed. The rest of Rwanda is impoverished.
So why is the Western powers leaving him? That's the question.
Bro, you believe everything you see on CNN and MSNBC, bro? They pretend
why are the Western powers
but they're
leaving
secretly
him?
working with them. How do they?
Why is he in alignment with Israel? Why is he in alignment with Israel?
Go ahead, Alan. Then I'm gonna pass it to Juchin.
Yeah. So, but basically, what I'm trying to say is that you can't have ISIS cannot exist in a country when you have a man like Paul Kagame in charge, and that's what that region needs. And if there's one guy who's going to step up and do it, then we need to get behind that one guy and let him cook.
That guy is Kagame.
Thank you.
All right, let me pass it to Judson. Go ahead, Judson.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead, and thank you for the $49.99 holler.
No problem. I just wanted to make the point that this idea that I keep hearing that Rwanda exists to smuggle minerals to the West makes no sense. The minerals that are smuggled from Congo to Rwanda are being smuggled by Congolese people to Rwanda. A lot of it is because Rwanda has better infrastructure. Those minerals are more expensive in Rwanda, right? So if you want cheaper minerals, it's better to get them from the Congo. So these people can get more money if they sell their resources to Rwanda. And most of the resources that are smuggled to Rwanda don't even go to the West, they go to China. China owns most of the mines in the DRC. It buys about 7% of most of all the coltan that exists in Rwanda. And the West buys its coltan from China, right? Everyone keeps talking about this EU mineral sale, but Rwanda has the
That was just
largest.
Lewis. That was just Lewis, man. You guys excuse him.
Pardon?
You guys excuse
Go
Lewis.
ahead, Judge. Hold on. Let Judge. Go ahead, Judge.
Yeah. I say Rwanda has the largest tungsten mine in Africa. I think, maybe even the world. They have the second largest tin mine in Africa. They're one of the world's largest producers of tungsten and tin, and they also have coltan, even though it's not as much as the DRC.
Thank you.
The EU
That's what I've
minerals
been
deal.
saying.
Yeah, the EU minerals deal was about all those three different minerals: tin, tungsten, and tantalum, which is coltan. The reason why the EU hasn't made the minerals deal with Rwanda is because they depend on China for their minerals. So they're setting up a deal so they can get the minerals directly from Rwanda. So this idea, so the West isn't getting most of the minerals from Rwanda anyway. All right. And the reason China dominates the DRC, and the reason smuggling exists in the DRC is because well, initially, as you know, the US used to dominate the mining market in the DRC, but they passed a law called Dodd-Frank, which put a lot of regulations on critical minerals like tin, tungsten, tantalum, etc., conflict minerals. And as a result of this, the illegal mining sector in the DRC was completely destroyed, right? Because all those companies just left, instead of like getting their minerals from the DRC, literally just left the DRC and started to get it elsewhere, right? So these people could not make a living from what the work they're doing, right? They had no place to sell the minerals because if you don't have having resources isn't the only thing that's important for development. You need to be able to sell those resources somewhere else or process those resources into another item that you can sell in the open market for more goods. But these people that access to that was completely cut off, and the only option they had was to sell those resources to Rwanda because Rwanda implemented certain systems and policies, and there wasn't any conflict happening in Rwanda. So, and Rwanda isn't the only place minerals are smuggled to. When minerals are smuggled to Uganda, minerals are smuggled to the Republic of Congo. Some minerals are even smuggled all the way to South Africa. So the smuggling would exist, whether M23 exists in Rwanda or not, as long as the instability that exists in the Eastern DRC exists. And it was this like collapse in the mining sector that led to China taking over the legal mining in DRC, because the Western companies went there that opened the way for China to dominate the field. So China is the main operator in the DRC. So this minerals deal that to me that KD is promoting to the United States. It makes sense, but at the same time, it also doesn't make sense. Because the reason the United States isn't in DRC isn't because they can't. It's like there's nothing the Congo is doing to prevent the United States from being the DRC and dominating that mining sector, right? The reason they do that is because of their over-regulation is a reason. And they have the ability to repeal their own regulation. Like the DRC hasn't placed any regulation to prevent the West or China from literally taking advantage of its people. So to me, that isn't the issue there isn't really the West. Right. To me, the issue here is there's a lot of ethnic related conflict and issues that as related to the Eastern Congo. And I think that is the main issue that needs to be solved first. And I agree that the minerals are feeling that conflict because it provides allows these different warlords, etc., to operate, get access to weapons, etc. But these regulations that were passed in order to stop this issue just led to more smuggling, right? And now other countries are being blamed. Like the UN even put a report saying Uganda is supporting M23.
Come on.
Like
Kagame went to South Africa, to Israel in 2008. He visited, and then he went back again in 2017. He voted for them at the AU to be a listener, to have listener status, and one of the few, I think it was a couple of countries that voted for. Look, you got to pay attention to that. That's serious. Any African head of state that is in support of Israel, that's a straight puppet. Are you kidding me?
I will point this out. Israel.
Why is that a deal breaker that they support Israel?
No. I just want to point this out. Kwame
That's
Nkrumah
like
initially
Jews
supported
supporting
Israel.
Hitler.
No, I want to point this out real quick. Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana was aligned with Israel. The Black Star ship that shipping agency that Kwame Nkrumah made was 50% owned by Ghana, 50% owned by Israel initially. So Israel, when Africa first got its independence, Israel supported a lot of different African countries, a lot of times to its own detriment.
How many years ago was that?
It was 1960s,
right?
But because of the Arabs, and obviously Israel aligned itself with the France, and so that there was a Sinai crisis. And due to pressure from the Arab countries, a lot of African countries cut their connections with Israel, and Israel was kicked out of the interaction with the AU, right? But those Arab countries made a lot of promises to different African countries that they would do the same things that Israel was doing in their countries and support them. But those people, Arab countries, didn't push through on their promises. Right? So then
You're
a lot of African countries,
obfuscating. You're rationalizing.
a lot of African countries are like going back to the Israel because the only reason they cut ties with Israel in the first place was because of the Arab countries.
Bro, that's a rationalization. No, and today in 2025, nobody, no African countries anywhere should be supporting Israel and what it's doing. That's period. And this is recently. So
Why
that lets
not?
you know that, well, I won't even answer that because it doesn't even deserve an answer to ask why should we not support
Should the
Israel? Are you
African
kidding?
countries support Palestine instead?
If anything, yeah. If we should be supporting each other. In fact, East African Community Regional Bloc should be working together to deal with Congo situation, but it has been subverted. It has been taken over, just like ECOWAS has been taken over.
Thank you.
So it's like not useful. So we have to take control of these blocks, reform them, or start new ones.
Let me pass the mic to Kojar. Go ahead, Kojar. Unmute yourself.
I appreciate the invite and the time to speak. My whole thing is ownership. We have to identify the true owners of the land before we can even discuss any type of transfer of power or like any support for any type of leader, man. All these
The
so-called
true
presidents.
owners are pygmies.
Bro, let him talk, please.
Say that again.
No. Go ahead and talk, bro.
I was gonna say that all these so-called presidents are more or less like they're middlemen for all the smuggling and all the theft that's going on, or the terrorism. They're the middlemen. They represent that terrorism. So it doesn't make sense to even have these discussions about Paul Kagame. The only way we should look at these people is that they're the sponsor. They sponsor terrorism in our land, and they have nothing to offer us in terms of safeguarding our interests or our betterments. You know what I mean? So you shouldn't even look at them for any type of upliftment. So yeah, man, like in terms of ownership, if you look at my profile picture, those are the true owners of the quote unquote Uganda, as you guys know it. You cannot name a single tribe from so-called Uganda that is involved in Congo right now. It's Museveni's group, the Tutsis Hima people, that's actually doing that. That's also include Kagame and others. So I'm not responsible for what Museveni is doing and Kagame, because these guys are more or less invaders in our land. They came as refugees. So it doesn't make sense to me to hear someone like, I thought that would be intelligent, someone like Dinas support Kagame. It doesn't make sense. It means that you don't know the history, or you don't know what you're talking about. You're just basically pushing propaganda, and you're holding back our salvation, basically, and delaying our justice, because you're pushing false information, man. How can you uphold someone like Paul Kagame?
Well, I can explain that.
Shouldn't a
I
region
can explain
take
why
leadership?
Information, my pusher.
Shouldn't the leadership of of an area that has material resources, natural resources, be the benefactor to? I mean, some of that money should be going to those people. They should have some control, or some say so, of what is coming out of the ground or the trees or whatever.
Exactly.
And even if the state is going to manage it or take control, those people should be benefiting instead of what's been happening in these neo-colonized states,
Bro,
where the state takes everything, and the people that are where the stuff come from is in dire poverty.
exactly.
So
My thing is,
that would be Tutsis and the people of the area. Tutsis are naturally from those areas too. So it would be whatever the people are in those areas would be the people who would benefit from it, as well as the state would benefit from it.
Those people are Congolese.
we're
Yeah,
currently running foreign systems of governance, like more or less rigged elections and party politics. That's all we've been doing ever since so-called independence, man. Like, what we're trying to push is like, even before independence in Uganda, what we're trying to push is a federal system, which means all these separate states, they can govern themselves. They've got customs and laws that can protect themselves and govern themselves. They don't need a so-called president to come in and oversee them.
Have you ever heard?
You see what I mean?
No,
We already have our own leaders,
yeah,
man.
but who's going to build the infrastructure? There's an issue there.
We can. The people will, man.
I don't.
That's
They're
where
going to build a port all the way on the coast of Brazzaville or whatever. They're
Bruh.
going to build. They're going to build railroad lines from their
We can
little
do that
area.
through the clan system that's already there, man. It was
But there
already
has
there
to be
before independence, bro.
But there has to be a centralized organizing body, and that's what a government does and is. And so, at some point, if these tribes start their own nations, they still have to have a centralized group that's going to manage this so that they can develop. Otherwise, they'll be in these little states trying to do their little thing in their little states, and
Again,
they don't.
Have
it starts with identifying who's the owners of the land. Go back to your tribe.
The
Stop
owners of the
going by your
land are
country
pygmy
name, bro.
people.
We know who
The
the owners is.
original
The owners is
occupiers
the
of the land are
ethnic
pygmy
people.
people.
Bro, regardless of what you want to call them, it's the people that
The
live in the Congo.
Twa, the Binga, and
Well, guess what?
Bwetu.
The
Guess
Twa and
what?
the Batu pygmy people. Those are the original owners of the land.
Binga,
you
whatever, they
Many-
got a bunch of different names for them other than
If you look at
pygmy.
the profile, many of those groups you're talking about are already in there, man. We already identify them as owners.
Sir,
There's no issue, man.
You're saying all this. You're saying all this stuff, but at what point in the history of the Congo have you ever seen them able to have a secure government, or them ever to have an army?
They never had a chance to, because the democratically elected president Patrice Lumumba was assassinated.
They're running
He
rigged
was assassinated by
elections.
Congolese.
They're running foreign systems of governance, bro.
And
They're
been
not running
destabilized
indigenous
since
systems.
slavery time. Since they took a bunch of us out of there, we've been destabilized
Exactly,
century
bro.
after
Stage a
century.
coup or let Kagame do his
than
thing.
the Congo.
That's
Y'all either got to stage a coup in the Congo or y'all got to let Kagame do his thing.
He ain't doing shit.
Kagame does not
All he's
own
doing
the
is getting
Congo,
paid.
bro.
That's all he's doing is getting paid
He
and trying
getting
to take
paid and
his
he's
shit.
stabilizing Rwanda as he's getting paid.
But that's
So
not
let him
helping
keep getting
Africa,
paid.
though.
Diners.
We need to help
Listen, bro,
Africa so
can I
that
say
they're not
something?
able to do the shit that they're
Diners.
doing in the Congo.
Listen, can I say something, Diners? Because if we I
Diners,
think if
what's
we
up?
rely,
You didn't
if we
answer the
rely on
question,
people,
Diners, bro.
Let John speak first, and I'll pass
I
the
feel
call.
like if we rely on the people, if we rely on the people on the panel to come to a solution, then this problem will never get fixed, and it's going to be a continuous war forever.
No.
In order for us to deal with the situation, we have to deal with the root of the problem. We could talk about the money, we could talk about the resources, but that comes after. The root of the problem needs to be fixed. Until we could put a band-aid on that, then until we can put a pin on it, it's never going to change.
Well, let me
And
tell you what the
root
root of the
is?
problem is and what you need to fix.
What is it?
The
What's
root of the, I
problem?
just told you the root of the problem is the Rwandan genocide. That's the root of it.
No,
and then I would say
no.
And I was,
goes
yes, it
before
is.
that,
That's
huh?
history.
It
That's exactly
goes
what the root of the
before
problem
that.
is.
That is
That's
not the root of the
important
problem.
history, but that ain't
No,
the root of the
because you
problem.
have the M23, which is a Tutsi-led group that's going into Congo and attacking Congolese people, and they're destabilizing the region, and it's causing ISIS to thrive in that region.
Right,
It started
right, which is-
ISIS
which is
to
Just
seep into that
why
region.
you're
M23,
making
huh?
money.
With 118
But
other
why?
rebel groups.
But you're
But
making my
over
point.
resources? Take the
No,
resources
it's
out
not.
the
It's not.
picture.
No.
Would they be
Originally,
doing that?
no. But I'm saying that originally it was not over the resources. It was because
Okay,
of
but it
the
is now,
genocide.
though. But it is
Is
now.
security?
No, it's not. That's
It
just a
is.
part of it. That's just
No,
a part of it.
take
That's not the root,
okay.
bro.
Take the resources out. Do you think they'd be fighting over there and doing all the
Yes,
shit
they
they
will
doing?
still be fighting.
No,
Yes,
over
yes.
what? Over
Yes,
what?
because Paul Kagame
Over
hasn't been.
what?
Because Paul Kagame has vendetta against the Hutu
For what
militias
though? This is
and the
over
related groups
resources.
Yeah, bro, you
aligned with
you
them.
losing the
Are you
plot, bro.
serious?
You losing the plot, bro. You had it, but
Yeah.
you losing the plot. I
This
actually
is
agree with you, bro.
resources. This is all over. Got us fighting each other and killing each other over this fucking
Bro, these people,
coltan and
both
Congo.
countries are selling the resources as raw material. They're not even producing or they're not even developing it and producing it
another
and benefiting from it. Really, they're really not even benefiting from it. They're just selling raw materials to China
Both
and
countries
Europe
are
and
the
whoever.
oligarchs in those
Rwanda
countries
has
that are
benefited
puppets for the
greatly
Western
from
world.
those
What are you
You
talking
guys are
about?
booty clapping for
what
Rwanda,
you
but
are
Rwanda
seeing.
is they only have Kigali. Kigali is a developed city. Yes, there's possibly that's still poor, but the
Kigali
rest
and
of
all of
Rwanda is poor,
Rwanda.
bro.
I've
We
had
had
people
a
going
person
to
on the panel
Rwanda.
that lived in
You're wrong.
Rwanda. He literally told you guys that
like I said,
Kigali
I
outside
think
of
the
Kigali
best
is poor.
I think the best solution for the Congo right now is just let Kagame control it.
Amen.
And
Just
but
let him
Kagame
do
needs
But I
his
don't think
thing.
that's a viable
to
solution,
Let him do
Daniel.
his thing.
See,
I
what's
don't
your
think that's a viable solution
Can I
because you
add-
know why I don't
can
think it's a
add
how
viable
can you say
solution.
that out loud, bro?
Dennis, hold on, but Dennis, you know why I don't think it's a viable solution?
We
Because
know why you
this
don't think it's a
M20
viable solution.
hold on, but this M23 group
you
is
don't
not a
like
new
this
group.
because
This group been around
you're
and
black.
in war with the hold on, let me finish.
Listen.
Brandon, let him
Yeah, I
finish.
donated.
Can I get something in real quick?
Yeah, I donated. Let me just say this real quick, and then
Don't
I'll
start
pass
no
the
shit
mic.
in here, Brandon.
So I would say it's never going to end because this M23 group is not a new group. It's been around for a long time. And Congolese went to war with the M23, and they had a stalemate. And the president at the time decided to invite the M23 within the military system, and then they had a conflict, and then now it's back to war.
What was the cause of the M23 forming?
It was the root of it is the Rwanda genocide. It's a Tutsi-led group,
right?
And they're battling against the Hutu militias that are in
Hutu
Congo.
militias
that
went
fled to
over
Congo.
into the Congo and they took that war from Rwanda over to the Congo and they start
Yeah,
slaughtering
and I would say the reason and the problem was Mobutu Sese Seko did not handle the situation. He should have never invited the Hutu militias that genocided the Tutsi. He should have never let them. This is what invited Congo into this conflict. If it wasn't for Mobutu Sese Seko and Joseph Kabila, this would have never happened. So we had Patrice Lumumba as the leader, as the rightful leader, before he got assassinated by his grandson Mobutu Sese Seko. And Patrice Lumumba was in the president, then this probably would have never happened.
Let me pass. I gotta pass the mic. Let me pass to Alan. Alan, you got 30 seconds. I'm passing to Brandon. Brandon,
Yeah. Have you guys ever heard of a term, security before prosperity? You have to be
security.
You cannot have prosperity if you can't secure anything. The problem is the Democratic Republic of Congo cannot secure anything, and as a result, they're left open there for anybody. ISIS, and they're begging the United States to come in. It is better for Paul Kagame to be in charge of that because he's shown you the way in which to do it. He provides security.
Man.
You cannot have the prosperity
sounds
you guys
very
are sitting around
uneducated.
dreaming about without the security.
In charge of what?
Again,
the
you cannot have
Congo.
without security.
In charge of what?
You have to be able to secure.
This is why you guys need to do some more study, man.
The resources. In
You
charge
guys
of the
need to do more
resources.
study in
That's
your
what you're talking
history.
about.
It's called an annexation, and at this point, they need to allow Rwanda to annex the Democratic Republic of Congo because that
Oh my word.
the leadership has showed that they're incompetent and that they're unable to gain control over the country.
Makes
This
no sense.
guy
Makes no
is
crazy, man.
wait a minute. When the only argument against Kagame taking over Congo is, because in 1985 or some stuff from 50 years ago, you know
How's
that
that
the
the only
people
argument?
you know that the people that are arguing against it, they really have no, they're not living in reality. They're not in the present.
It's a stupid
Right now,
preposition anyway.
Hey, it's my turn. It's my turn. Every international group that has eyes on the Congo has admitted that there is oppression and murder being committed against the Tutsi people by the Hutu forces that have joined with the rebel groups. Every single international watchdog group that has got eyes on the DRC.
Needed.
Okay, well,
It
you
sounds
wait.
like a Jewish campaign all over again.
I love when someone who's not going through something has a nonchalant dismissal of the situation, right?
This
But if it
motherfucker
was
literally
them,
You're talking to someone who's
them,
actually a
but if
victim
it was them, they
of
would
the
want
genocide, bro.
somebody. If it was
like
them,
he's
they would
over there
want,
going through the war and
if
shit.
it
they're
was
fighting.
them, they would want somebody to
They'll be the greatest
intervene.
victims.
At this point, Dynas, the fact that the the Congo government, Congolese government, is trying to hand over control to the mineral rights to the United States of America, to me, this is an admission that they are unable to maintain order in their country. So if they're admitting that they don't have the ability to protect the resources, they are also admitting that there is a situation surrounding the resources and the security within the country that they are unable to gain control over.
They weren't meant to.
Paul Kagame has
control
proven
it.
himself to be a fair leader. He's proven himself to be able to
a puppet
to handle.
Let him preach.
There's
that
not
loves Israel.
There's not a leader.
That
There's not.
invaded a
What
foreign
does
that loves
Israel have to
Israel.
do with
Sovereign land.
anything? That Dynas, listen.
Who you ally with says a lot about
Black folks have a way of always introducing things that have nothing to do with what's going on. The
Sure,
only
your allies do.
The
Yes,
only
it does.
person who has proven to be able to put down the Hutu versus Tutsi abuses and assault and slaughter and oppression has been Paul Kagame.
The
No
only
one wants
person,
the
that's his
job.
ethnic group in his
No
country.
one wants the
Talking about
job.
the only person.
No one
And then
wants
that's their job.
No
What do you
one
mean no
wants-
one wants the job?
No one wants the job. No one has offered to take on the job. Only Paul Kagame. And
He's
the
Tutsi.
M23 was a response to abuses that have been committed against Tutsis by Hutus. And yes, they are funded by Rwanda. And if somebody
this is why Libya,
black folks,
Liberia happened, man.
black
Right.
folks in America can't understand this because we don't stick up for one another. We let people abuse our people.
Now you're talking about stuff that has nothing to do with nothing. There you go.
No, this has everything to do with it.
That's
It has
nothing to
everything
do with
it.
nothing.
Dynas, a
You
group
guys
of
are
You're
high,
cold,
though.
listen,
Brandon. You're leaving the point, though.
a group of people who believe that money rules everything and that allow their people to get abused in the name of securing personal wealth. They will never understand. They will never understand why Paul Kagame is doing what he's doing. If all Paul Kagame wanted was diamonds, bro, easily could bribe the Congolese government to give him as much diamonds as he want to. Easily, he could send hit groups in to wipe out their whole government overnight. And
He
install
really
a
didn't do
puppet.
anything. They
These
went to
guys
him to take the resources out.
We know what is necessary. Everyone knows what is necessary, and even Congo is offering Trump rulership over their country because a black person would rather give power.
No, because he's a puppet.
To a white man,
A black
they give it to
person
Because
black
would
she's a
rather
kick
give power.
is a puppet.
Hey, a black person
Chesapeake
would rather
is too.
give power
She's a cake
to a white man
is a puppet.
than to let another black
not
man
power,
rule
bro.
over
It's a
him.
mineral
And that's
deal.
all that's going on here.
That's all
Amen
that's
to
going
everything
on,
Brandon
Brandon.
said.
Sorry
How
to talk
can you
over you, Brandon,
support
but you
That's
always
cool.
talk
Yo,
over
just
everybody,
make your own
so
facts,
we
but
love
that's
talking
cool.
over you.
How can
Amen
you
to everything
support
Brandon said. I second
Pinocchio
everything the
Kagame?
man said.
100.
I believe
Break it down, bro.
Hold on, what, Kojo? It's not necessarily. Well, it is supporting Kagame. It's just again,
How
Congo
can you,
leadership. Kojo, I'm gonna explain why. Because
Pinocchio?
Congolese leadership.
This is
Let me
Pinocchio.
finish. Let me finish. You asked me a question. I'm gonna give you the answer. Is because Congolese leadership is
Oh,
incompetent
no,
and it
no.
can't protect our own
That
people.
is
So I'm like, forget it. Let Kagame annex the Congo. I completely agree.
that
Let
is
them
lack
annex
of
it.
That's
Take it
not
all.
understanding.
annex. You
You
don't
come
annex
to
a
that
country.
conclusion,
You
bro.
don't annex a
Exactly.
country.
You
You
can't just
take
take
it.
over
You
Wait a
can
minute,
take
a
it.
Dynas.
sovereign country,
Dynas.
You
bro.
can take
You
it,
still
but you
haven't
don't
That's
given a
annex the
reason.
Dynas.
country.
Listen,
this is
Dynas,
crazy.
this
That's
is
a war.
Dynas, this is when you know that these people are thinking immaturely. You got
Immature.
people like Ellery. Can you highlight Ellery's comment right here? Ellery said that this is Trump, Kagame, and M23 propaganda. But isn't the Congolese government trying to give over their rights to Trump so Kagame can't take
He's
take over?
protecting
They've already
minerals,
Wait,
bro.
lost
That's
their
so,
not
so,
taking
Don't
rights.
over their
tell
rights.
people
so
to think
listen,
now.
They've
Dynas,
That's the
already
Fraser
lost
frame.
it.
so they're
They've already
literally,
lost it.
so Dynas,
Yeah.
they're literally, this is what people who are emotional do.
Why
They
don't
will
you argue with
literally,
somebody in the actual
they
chat,
will
bro? Why are you
literally
picking
try
on
to
Right.
link, they
Right.
will literally try to link two opposing
this dude's a clown?
interests just to rationalize their flawed thinking. Trump is right now the enemy of Kagame because Congo wants Trump to come in to thwart Kagame's efforts. So how can this be pro-Trump
Only,
and
It's called a
pro-Kagame?
mineral
only
deal,
slow
bro.
to
They've
That's
already
understand.
done that.
propaganda.
The West has
Let me
kicked
make it
Kagame to
easy.
the curb. The West
Only
kicked
Okay,
The West
slow,
Kagame to the
not
curb.
anything
only
over the
slow
world.
to understand. Negropeans can say things like that, man.
Yeah, y'all
well, you
definitely,
can
I'm
call
y'all
me whatever
definitely
disappointed in
you
you
inherited
want.
that
guys. I thought
European
You
you'd be
bloodlust
older
out
you
than
there.
can
me,
You
call
much
know
me
that.
whatever
wiser.
you want, but you don't determine who's a Negropean and who's not a Negropean. You won't even show your
I
face.
keep
You're
hearing
a
it a
coward.
lot
You're a
from
coward.
Negropeans.
No man who can't even show his
So,
face can call anybody anything.
could somebody explain to me why the West
You're a
kicked Kagame to
coward.
the curb? Could somebody explain why the West
Diners.
kicked Kagame to the curb?
Doesn't
Oh
Because
matter.
he
man.
invaded the
The West
Congo.
is
No,
not.
because
That's
The
you
West
can't
invading
is
agree
not.
with
sovereign countries, bro.
I can
That's
explain why.
against. Go
I
ahead.
can
I hope it
explain why.
makes sense, bro, but I doubt it.
If you want to, I can explain why.
So disappointing, man.
I can
Yeah,
explain.
this
I
is
can explain.
no
ridiculous.
one
Explain
cares
it.
about you being disappointed.
Explain it.
Okay, I can
Who
explain
Because
are
you
you?
if
You
thought
you
you
don't
let
were
me.
even
smart.
exist.
I thought
Explain
you
it.
was intelligent. You kept going on and on and on,
Bro, I
but you
never
said
thought you
nothing.
were intelligent.
You
I
said
never
nothing.
thought you were intelligent. That's
Can,
what makes
can
us
I?
different.
Nothing could
Let me
value you upward,
since
man.
they asked the question, let me explain to you why. At the beginning of this term, Donald Trump himself, they asked him, "Is there any African leaders that you like?" He says, "I like Paul Kagame." But as soon as the people in the Democratic Republic of Congo got scared and became cowards and decided to go ahead and try to turn their whole country over to the United States,
That's not turning their country over, bro.
Donald
Y'all
Trump,
got to
Donald
cut
Trump,
this
Donald
false
Trump.
claiming.
Are
Hold
you
on,
kidding
Donald
me?
Trump pivoted, and that because he wants the resources.
Got scared.
That's why.
Mineral deal.
You lost me.
A mineral deal for protection.
I'm sorry, I lost you.
They doing what they
So,
supposed to do.
so why can't the Congo protect itself?
You
That's
see,
not a
you
problem.
keep
They weren't
shifting
set
the
up to
blame,
do that.
Diners.
Because
Diners.
They're not
No,
set up to do
Diners.
that. They're set up to
You
do
keep
exactly what they're
shifting
doing. Just like the
the
police
blame.
in the United
Right, so
States
let
was
somebody
created out of
so let
slave
somebody who knows what they're
patrols.
doing.
Guys, hold on,
You got to
guys.
look at
Diners.
No,
the
they're
Guys,
picking
setup.
on the
hold on.
Congo, but
So,
tell you the
Dinus,
truth, there's a
listen.
lot of countries in Africa that
So,
can't
listen,
protect
Dinus.
themselves, truth be told.
So
They're
if
not supposed to.
listen,
Diners. You
Dinus,
keep shifting the blame to
the
Congo
West is the
without
enemy,
addressing the
right?
issue
The blame is the
about
Congo. What are you talking
Dinus,
about?
Kagame.
The blame is the Congo. The
Dinus,
You
blame is
cannot
the Congo.
if
defend Kagame. You
Dinus,
have no
if
reason to defend him.
The
Dinus,
blame
if
is
There's
the
nothing
Congo.
good.
Hold on, Brandon. Kojo, the blame is the Congo, period.
No.
They
I'm
can't
talking
defend
about
themselves.
Kagame. I'm asking why you supporting Kagame and
Hold
you're
on.
pointing to
Let's
Congo.
keep it 100.
That's shifting the blame, bro.
Let's keep it 100. It was the Congo that killed Congolese that killed Patrice
Before
Lumumba.
Kagame
It wasn't
existed,
no.
Congo
It
already
was
had their
no.
own
It
issues,
was the
man.
CIA that put
was the CIA
Who
and the
pulled the
Belgians.
trigger?
You keep
put
shifting the blame,
Mobutu and
brother.
his group in
Who pulled
power
the
to
trigger?
they
Who
put him
pulled the
set him up
trigger?
to be in
Who
power.
pulled the
It was the
trigger?
CIA
Who pulled
and
the
Belgium that
trigger?
put
Who pulled
Mobutu
the
in power
trigger?
and his
Who
group. That's who
pulled
did
the
it, not the
trigger?
Black man
Congo.
Who
can't take
pulled the
accountability.
trigger? Who
Dinus,
pulled the trigger? Who
Dinus, let me
pulled the trigger?
Right.
right.
This
That's what a
is getting
puppet
childish
does.
now, man.
That's what puppets does. That's why the first thing we got to do is get rid of the
Let me
puppets.
get Dynasty. Let
Get
me
rid
get
of
him on
those
another
coon
one.
ass niggas is the first thing we need to do.
Dynasty, let me get
Exactly.
Get
another
rid of
one.
the coon niggas. That's what we need to do.
Dinus cannot give you
Kagami's
5
one of the
reasons
coon.
why
Kagami's one of the
Kagame
coon niggas
is so
too.
great.
Dynasty, let me get him on another one.
At least
So
He cannot
if
give
the
you 5
Sahel
reasons
states,
why Kagame
so
is
if the
great.
Sahel, so if the
But he
Sahel
wants to
states,
point at Congo
listen.
and
So if
tell you why
I'm
Congo is
gonna ask
failing.
y'all a question.
Come on,
I'm gonna
man.
ask y'all a question.
What
So
kind
if
of
the Sahel,
reasoning is that?
so if the Sahel states,
question, bro. You got to
kick
keep
the,
shutting
hold
me
on,
down.
question. If the Sahel states kick the West out, that's a good thing.
Right.
But if Congo wants to bring the West in, that is also a good thing.
That's a farce. Because
No,
they're not
that's
bringing
you
shit in.
guys are celebrating one.
They have been captured. It is a
Let me make
captured
this point,
state.
Dinus.
It is a
Dinus,
puppet state, and it is
let me
doing
make this
whatever
point.
it's supposed to do. That's what it's
Dinus,
supposed to do.
let me make this point.
Thank you.
Listen, if one country kicks out the West, that's good. The Sahel states.
Is the U.S. in the Sahel
If the
states?
Congo
Is the
brings
U.S. in the
in the
Sahel
West,
states? Let's keep apples to
that's
apples,
bad.
bro.
It
That's
was in
good.
Niger.
That's what
They
I
had the
thought.
drone
That's what I thought.
thing
Out of
in
one
Niger.
side of their neck. So out of
No,
one
they
side
didn't.
of their neck, they'll say
Yeah,
the
they
West
did.
is the enemy.
Look it up.
But
They had a
just to keep
drone.
Congo out, listen, just to keep Congo out of the hands of Kagame, they will now celebrate the West as heroes.
Now, could I answer your question, bro?
These dudes are fundamentally opposed in their thinking. They're literally hypocritical.
Now
to
let me
the
answer the
core.
question because this dude is full of shit. Now let me explain this. Apples to apples. Is the United States in the Sahel? Yes or no?
Yes.
You said the
So,
West.
I said the
It
West.
No. Let him answer the
It
question.
was.
Is the United
Let
States
me
in the
was.
Sahel? Yes or no?
let me
It
answer
was.
the question.
Yes.
Let me
Yes.
answer
No,
the
no.
question.
I'm a
Yes.
cook. Linus. Let him answer the question.
Let me answer the question.
Go ahead,
So
bro.
the U.S. pulled out of Niger. So the drone base they had, they pulled out because the leaders of
Right.
Niger said, "Yeah, I gotta go."
The question I asked Prince Dinas is this the United States in the Sahel region?
He just answered you.
He answered for Niger. Niger's not the whole
That's
Sahel.
in the Sahel, though.
You're an
Come
idiot.
on, bro. This is
You're
why
an idiot.
this is why I can't respect
Niger
you, man.
is
You never
in the
make sense
I don't
Sahel.
for a
respect you
point.
because you're dumb.
Niger is in the Sahel.
That's
So
one
what?
place. It's a how
Yeah,
many
but
countries
that's
make up
the
the
Sahel,
Sahel?
though.
Games with you.
But that's the Sahel, though.
I got time to play games with you.
Y'all are playing games, bro.
No,
Because
you're
Nobody's
you
playing
said the
games.
West. You talking about the West when comparing it because they kicked out the French.
They
You're
kicked.
not doing apples to apples.
Is
They
the
So I'm
kicked the
West
saying the
largest
United
drone
States is the
base
United States have a
Johnny
outside
president
the
in
United
there.
States out. Yeah, so that was
Listen,
major.
Johnny Appleseed, is the West being in Africa good or bad? Answer that question.
I'm not answering your question because you're
Exactly.
not,
Because
bro.
that
I'm
goes
talking
against your
specific
hypocritical
countries,
way of
not the
thinking.
West.
Listen, man. Either Kagame gonna take that shit or the West gonna take it, and I'm happy either way as long as the United States gets a hold of it.
If
Whatever
he was
you feel
Ibrahim,
about it doesn't matter.
if he were somebody like Ibrahim Traore or Julius
You
Malema,
don't
then
know
that would be
Ibrahim
different.
Traore. All you know is the
I
guy
know what
walking
he's
around
so
in a
far so good.
You
So
don't
far
know
so
shit about
good.
him.
No,
You
no,
don't know
so far
anything
so
about him.
good in Burkina Faso. So far so good.
You don't know what's going on in Burkina Faso.
Well, I do because there's people, there are Burkina Faso that are speaking about what's going on in their
They
country
are where?
in
Show us where they are.
in
Give us
Twitter
the website.
Spaces.
Give us
In
the
Twitter
website.
Spaces.
Oh, Twitter Space. Okay.
Right, with actual family people that are in these spaces
Okay.
talking about what's going on in Mali and what's going on in Burkina
They
Faso.
will say that I am not a Pan-African. I want Paul Kagame to get the control over Congo. But if
And that
y'all don't
goes to
want
show
to
you
have
he's
it,
not a
good
fan.
if a
reasons.
white man is gonna get it, I want the
What's your
United
good
States
reasons
to get it.
about?
That's where I live at.
That in lies the problem right there.
But
Literally,
and
the
You see
birth
that?
of Pan-Africanism
Y'all don't
is
want to.
in
Y'all
the
don't
They're
want a
Congo.
paid,
black
man.
man to
Literally,
that
have
ain't
it.
gonna
and this dude
happen.
wants
I
to
think
Y'all
these
don't
guys
want
are
a black
paid for.
man. Listen, man. Y'all don't want a black man to have it. So if a
No,
white man
You
gonna
guys
get it,
are
I
either
prefer it to be the white
it's
man
not
where I
that,
live
bro.
at.
It's no
you've
lessers of
got
the
a
evil
tootsie wife
in this
or something,
context,
man.
brother. It's
Listen,
no
man.
lesser because if Kagame
Nobody,
was doing some revolutionary stuff other than
Dinus,
making his own little
Dinus,
country
if
beautiful
I'm not a
and
Pan-African, then
benefiting
none
from
of
it,
these Nigerians or any of these other Africans who breaking their neck to get to the United States are Pan-Africans either. If you live in any Western country, you are not a Pan-African. You're a coon if I'm not a Pan-African.
I don't know about that. Yeah, that
No,
was
it's the
Man,
truth.
whatever.
It's
feel
the
better?
truth.
I don't
your
know
Dinus,
reasoning
they
is
about
live
that.
very,
in the
very
West
toxic.
culture. Listen, man.
Your
Being a
reasoning is very
Pan-African
toxic and
does
That's
not mean
misleading.
true.
you have to
If
hate
he's not,
America
then everybody's
or
not.
Very
hate the West.
misleading, man.
Dinus, do I have to hate the West to be a
Spirit of
Pan-African?
deception.
Is
Who
that a
hates the
rule of
West, bro? Who
Pan-Africanism?
said they hate the West?
Dinus, do I have to hate the West because to be a Pan-African? Answer that question for
No,
me. Okay.
no.
I don't hate
Hate?
the West.
No, but
I
do you
don't
know who
hate
your
the
enemy
West.
is? Is the West your enemy?
No.
No. Who's
Oh,
enemy?
really?
But the way you talk
Why
about
are
Oh,
they
then
my
you're
America,
not a
enemy?
Pan-Africanist.
Oh,
What are you
what?
talking about?
Dinus,
If the West is not your enemy, you're not a Pan-Africanist.
Wait a
That's
minute, Dinus.
ridiculous, bro.
So the
This
founders
is
of,
you
don't know who your enemy
especially
is.
for an older
Wait a
man,
minute,
bro.
bro.
You are
Wait
like
a minute, bro.
You don't know who your
dumb.
enemy is.
Show me. Show me.
Is United States your enemy or
Show
not?
me
No,
where the
dumbass.
founders of Pan-Africanism said that the West is our enemy.
Thank you, bro. That has nothing to do with Pan-Africanism.
Show me.
I'm actually agreeing with you on this shit. This dude
No,
is
I
out
get
of
it.
his mind.
This guy's an idiot. Shah is an idiot. You
I
guys
agree.
do not even know what Pan-Africanism is because you've never actively participated in it.
How do you know that though? You talking about him, for example?
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the idiots who are talking about I gotta hate the West to be a Pan-African. Pan-Africanism is about building. If you ain't got the means to build or the resources, you ain't building nothing. I got friends right now who are building apartment complexes in Rwanda. That's why I
Oh
want
Lord.
Kagame to get a hold of it, because I know that it will accelerate the productivity of that country. And I think that he knows how to maneuver to make those diamonds and stuff more profitable than they've
What you
ever
call
been. And I
development
know he won't get bullied out
is
of it by the West.
gentrification on the ground. What you call
You're an
development is
idiot.
gentrification on the ground.
You're
I
an
know
idiot.
because I was one of those that suffered
You
from that.
don't know. Dude,
I do
shut
know.
up.
How
Shut
do you
up.
think
You're
I ended up
lying.
in the
You don't
UK, bro?
even know who you are.
How do you think I ended up in the UK?
You could be a white person for all we know.
Here we go. Here we
Nobody
go.
knows you.
Now I
Nobody
understand
knows you,
why
and nobody believes
Liberia
you.
happened, man. Now I
Bro,
get why Liberia happened, man. Your type of
shut
mindset.
up, dude. A Nigerian just bought the UK airport or something like that.
Your type of mindset is
So
very
guess what?
destructive, man.
The Nigerian
Very
who bought the
misleading.
UK airport is a traitor to his country.
You still identify as an American, bro.
I am
Bro,
an
that don't mean
American
shit.
nationally.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you're not Pan-African, bro.
You're
You kind of
goofy.
y'all got the lines a little bit blurred. I don't want to agree with this dude, but y'all are like y'all putting me no choice
This
because y'all not
guy
making
is an idiot. He's a Nigerian trying to come up here and act like he's a qualifier or setting the precedent
Who
for
said I'm
what we
Nigerian,
do.
bro? You don't
You
even know what
worry
you're
about
talking
that
about, bro.
dust rock, and we'll worry about what we doing.
You don't
nah,
even
I
know
don't
what you're
agree with
talking
that
about,
shit.
man.
Yes, I do. Nigeria
Who's
sucks.
Nigerian? Who's
You
Nigerian
said
on the panel?
Nigerian. You said you're Nigerian.
Who said I was Nigerian?
Oh, okay. If you're not Nigerian, I really don't want to talk to you because at least I respect Nigerians. They dusty and they know it.
See, you don't know what you're talking about,
Nigerian.
man. You just making weird
No,
statements,
you're an
bro.
idiot. No one knows you. Who are you?
No one knows you, bro.
Oh, they know me very well. I show my
No,
face.
they know you as
Hey,
a troll, bro.
You know what?
My
I
name is
see.
You're
Brandon
just a
Tucker.
troll,
What
I
is
man.
actually
your
seen
name?
you on No
To
Jumper
me,
the other
you're
My
day,
just a
bro.
name
troll.
is Brandon Tucker. What is your name?
You took us completely off the topic,
My
man.
name is Brandon Tucker. What's your name?
Completely off the topic.
Exactly. You're just
Completely.
you're just
Nobody
an
cares.
emoji.
Like, I
You're
don't
just
care.
an avatar speaking.
I
No
came
one
to talk
knows
about
you.
the topic on discussion right now, bro.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
care about
talking
what
about.
you're doing right now.
This is the whole topic. Dusty, mysterious people trying to tell everybody else what they are and what they ain't.
No,
You're just
that's off
uninformed
topic. We was
and
talking about the Congo.
miseducated.
I'm well informed. I made a video about this
Oh,
situation.
really? Oh, really?
Yes.
What is Ubwenge if you're so educated?
Listen, let me tell you something. Dinus, for years, decades, Africans have
You
tolerated
just don't know, man. Just
genocide
leave
and
it alone,
abuse
man.
of
You
certain
just don't know.
groups,
You've
right?
still got a lot to learn. There's some things we don't know.
Dinus,
Okay?
African people,
We're here
for
to
the
learn.
most
You
part,
don't know
are
everything, bro.
okay with
You
genocide
don't
and
know
slaughter.
everything. Your voice is not the most important on
Kagame
the
is
panel.
not okay with that. So they gang
Your
up on
voice
him.
is not the most important on
gang
the
up on
panel.
him,
Let someone else speak,
and
man.
they try to bully him because he's a man and he stands up for what's right.
You see, Daniel's so quiet. He enjoys this kind of thing, bro.
Africa is not in the state that it's in because it's full of a bunch of altruistic, caring people. Africa is the way it is because a large part of the large
Yeah, I'm
segment
gonna
of
keep it
the
moving,
African
man.
population is okay to stand by and do nothing while other people get slaughtered and abused. And because Kagame stands up against it, he is now the enemy.
How do you
It's
even
not much
understand?
different. It's not much different from Black America, Dinus. Most Black Americans are okay standing by while violence is perpetuated all over our community. And if
It's a
anyone
damn
dares to
shame,
stand
man.
up against it, they will gather against that person and try to eliminate that person. Because for us, we are entertained by it. We enjoy
Well, hold on,
it.
Brandon. Let me ask you a question. No, hold on. George, you keep bringing up Liberia. Do you do you support the coup in 1980?
Of course he does.
George, I'm asking a question. Justin, are you there?
Yeah.
Do you support? You keep bringing up Liberia. Do you support the coup of 1980?
Oh no, I haven't brought up Liberia at all.
You
You're
keep
talking
you
about
keep
someone
saying
else.
this is what happened. You keep saying this is what happened to like who keeps saying? I'm sorry, that's not true. That was Koji. Okay, Koji left. I'm sorry, he left. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
He left. All right, go ahead, woman. That wasn't you. That was is woman still on here? Yeah, woman. Go ahead. That was Koji or whatever his name that brought that up. Go ahead, Koji.
Me? Go ahead.
I mean, go ahead, woman. Go ahead, woman. Yeah.
Okay, so the people that are defending Kagame and supporting Kagame, are saying that, oh, well, let Kagame go in Rwanda, let go into the Congo and let him take it over, let him do this and do that because he's a great leader, etc. Kagame himself is not even admitting that his troops are in the Congo. So I'm not sure where you guys are getting that argument from. If Kagame was this great leader, hold on a second. If Kagame was this great leader, this strong leader, why does he not just say, yes, my troops are there. This is what I'm doing. He himself has not even admitted that he has troops on the ground there and that his intention is to capture any part of the Congo. What he's trying to make it seem as though the rebels are just there fighting amongst themselves and they're fighting because of injustices against the Tutsis. But I'll ask the question I asked earlier. What was the igniting factor? What was it that has happened recently? What is the great injustice that has happened recently against the Tutsis that led to M23 and I believe Kagame soldiers going into the Congo? Nothing, there wasn't any increase in violence.
Hold on. Let me. I'll play what Kagame said himself from the horse's mouth. Hold on one second. Let me play the video.
All right.
I can probably add to that question as well.
I'll play it right now. Hold on one second. This is what happened.
1 million lives erased in just 100 days. Not in years, not in months. 100 days. A nation turned on itself overnight. In this exclusive sit-down, Mario goes deep with Rwandan President Paul Kagame, not just on the genocide that nearly destroyed his country, but on the forces that allowed it to happen.
It was just an open place. They drew a line, left Rwanda on this side, and the other side it was called Congo. But this line divided the families. You can talk about others who migrated and went to Congo from Rwanda, or whatever it is, but there are those who are indigenous to that place. These are the ones who are fighting, whom the government is uprooting and saying, you go back to Rwanda.
You're talking about the M23 now?
Yeah. And we have, by the 130,000 people, refugees.
From Congo and Rwanda?
Yeah, they've been living here for the last 23 years.
And Congo doesn't want them back?
It doesn't even want those who are there, who never came here.
There was a leader in Rwanda who's very corrupt, supported by the US during Soviet Cold War era. Then the US withdrew its support.
That was Mobutu.
And then Kabila is the one that you supported, Francis Kabila, that took over power. And then Francis Kabila and you guys, your relationship broke down for whatever reason. And then there was multiple wars where Rwanda was involved. And then he was shot by his bodyguard. His son, Joseph Kabila, took over. Then there was an election, and we have today's leader. Congo, I feel, is like, it's not even a country anymore. It's just, as heartbreaking it is, it's just a land full of minerals that so many different people have their hands into that pot. You have a threat on your border. That threat still houses the FDLR, the same people that committed the genocide 30 years ago. They're still there on your border. Their goal is just replace you as president, replace the entire government right now, and to still get rid of Tutsis in Rwanda. So that's still their objective. And they're doing the same thing for Tutsis in Congo. Then there's the other argument of minerals. So the way I see it is there's all these different hands, some corrupt, some good, some bad, some of them committing horrendous crimes to get access to the minerals in Congo, because it's such a wealthy country. And there's no real way of doing business with Congo. You don't think the current government is doing the best job. They operate in a country that everyone wants it to be unstable, because that's how they get access to the minerals. And your end goal is for Congo to be stable, even more prosperous than you if that's possible, and to do business with Congo a peaceful way. But you're not able to reach a path to that.
If you looked at the list of 100 entities, China, Europe, US, Canada, and so on, including all of us in the region, who are interested in the minerals in the Congo. Rwanda, would come as 100, would come at the bottom. But the situation is such that it has been made to look like the ones least concerned with the minerals have been the ones accused for the entire problem of these 100 who get billions and billions and leave nothing behind. So Rwanda has come to be the ones to absorb it. And the people who have the power of the media, of everything, and for them, they're also benefiting from the bad politics. Our problem is not minerals. It has nothing to do with minerals. Ours is about security. And once we are not assured of our security, we can't be thinking about minerals in that situation. No, that would be the last thing on our minds. The second problem that combines with that, because of that history we said of the people, the Congolese of Rwandese origin, carved out by the border, the governments in Kinshasa all the time use this pretext. One, first of all, they say they want to get rid of these people, this FDLR, those who committed genocide, went to Congo 30 years ago. They work with politics and politicians. They cause them problems, but they want to cause them problems and eventually cause problems to Rwanda. Now, these are things we have discussed with everyone, whichever government that has come into Congo.
So that includes Kabila, the one that you've helped get into power, and his son.
And even
now
Tshisekedi and Felix.
What does Felix say? Like, and I know publicly he calls you Hitler and he says all these crazy things.
I think he's genocide ideology like
Do you think so? He's that extreme?
I think so. He is.
Have you spoken to him privately often?
I have spoken to him like 100 times before these problems.
Was there any common ground? Like,
yeah, we discussed even when he he became president. By the way, I don't mind how he became president. He was not elected both times. The first time he was handed over power by the Joseph. Yes, there's no question about it. The second, he just declared himself, and that was everybody's to shut up, and that's what happened. So, but that's not my problem. The UN has been there now for about 24 years, has been in Congo. They have had about 17 to 18,000 peacekeepers, so-called, in that place from different countries. If you calculate the amount of money spent over that period of 24 years, it's close to 40 billion. Now, the question number one is, what did they actually come to do? To keep peace? Which peace is there? To bring peace? Which peace have they brought? To solve the problem concerning Rwanda security of these FDLR that have lived there for the last 30 years? Nothing.
So why are they there?
The only thing they did relating to this, they have over time repatriated some FDLR and their families.
Back to Rwanda?
Back to Rwanda. It's on record. It's recorded. The rest, I don't know.
Can I add to that as well?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think another factor too is when Tshisekedi came to power, he set up a deal with M23 from what it seems like, where M23 was supposed to be reintegrated into the army, and those other stipulations in the deal as it relates to like ethnic discrimination and bringing back the refugees, the Congolese refugees who are in Rwanda, back into the Congo. But after the deal was passed and accepted, I think this is around 2019, 2020, Congo essentially reneged on that part of the deal of reintegrating the M23 back into the Congolese army because a lot of people had issues with that. So M23 saw that as a sign that the Congolese government wasn't going to go along with that peace deal. And there are multiple different bouts between M23 and the Congolese military after that. So that also contributed to the current situation right now because M23 felt that the Congolese government wasn't adhering to its part of the deal that it made.
Okay. Woman, did that answer your question?
Well, I didn't have a question because in this interview, that gentleman didn't ask him about Rwanda's troops underground. The interview he did with CNN a couple of days ago, when they bluntly asked him, he said he doesn't know, and he continued to deny it. And actually, he's really a nasty snake, you know. In the CNN interview, when he was asked about the minerals, he actually called South Africa's name and said that they were interested in Congo's minerals. Now he's being interviewed in South Africa. He doesn't say the same thing. Why not? Why not? You're right there. Why not say that?
Dinus, this is why women shouldn't be in leadership. What leader of a country?
Oh, here we go, trolling again, bro.
Yeah, this is
Listen,
nonsense.
Dinus, what leader in a country would put his troops at risk by admitting that they are involved in a situation that is very dangerous? I'm sure this woman is a Christian. Most women are.
Bro,
Most women are. Well, let me finish, man. Hey.
Go ahead, man. I'm gonna let it.
I'm sure this woman is a Christian. The Bible says in Matthew, the 6th chapter, verses 3 and 4, it says, when giving gifts of mercy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. And what Kagame is doing is a mission of mercy. He's defending his people from being assaulted and hurt and abused by the leftovers, the remnants of the Hutu genocidal miscreants, right? So he's given a gift of mercy, and he's not letting his left hand know what his right hand is doing. He is a smart and effective leader. Kagame came out of nowhere as the premier leader in Africa when nobody saw him.
You know he's beginning.
And he may be a snake. She called him a snake. But
Do you know where he began?
Bible, did you know? Listen, man, I'm cooking. If you ain't either throw me some seasoning or get
I
the hell
can't
out
believe
the
how
kitchen.
much you're praising him.
Listen, man, we don't speak. Listen, man, we don't cook in broken English in this mofo. Okay, so just hush while I'm talking. Okay, just hush. We don't. You had your chance to be on my side, and you didn't want to be.
Crazy,
listen, man. The Bible says that the snake, the serpent, Dinus, this is the truth. The Bible says that the serpent was the most shrewd of all the beasts of the field. Dinus, do you know the meaning of the word shrewd?
Yes.
Okay. For those of you who didn't go to the 3rd grade, the definition of the word shrewd is sharp, with great power of judgment, astute. That means a shrewd person, a serpent, is very good at judging situations. So when you call Kagame a snake, you are complimenting him, my sister. You are not criticizing him. And if you knew better, you would do better. So I'm just going to credit this to you not knowing better. And I forgive you for your sins against Paul Kagame.
That's like calling the devil a liar, man.
Hey, Kojo, hold on, Kojo. You kept bringing up the Liberia situation. Do you support the coup of 1980?
I'll be quite honest. I don't completely know all the details of all the history of Liberia.
So why do you keep bringing it up?
I was dealing with the type of mindset that resulted to that type of event.
What kind of mindset? You keep bringing it up if you don't know the.
You're coming in with this. I know the history, and you're making these broad statements.
I don't know the history. It's just I know the fact now of the matter is the Congolese leadership sucks.
Your statements sound very. You sound very pure.
It's been terrible for 60. It's been terrible for 60 plus years, and you're better off letting Kagame run it.
No.
What I've noticed, Dinus, what you're doing on these shows, yeah. Some of the Congolese brothers come on, and you're very dismissive of their lived experience.
Because they're lying about what group was here first, what group is indigenous to this area. They're basing.
Why would they lie about that? Why would they waste their time and come on the show and give you all that history?
It's not so. Like Kagame said in his interview, there are ethnic groups who are currently in Rwanda were also in the Congo before Europeans drew up the borders. And you have Congolese that literally come on here and say that's not true.
But Prince Dinus, just to get it like 100% clear, bro. what he said was that the kingdoms might overlap, but the kingdoms don't have reign in the area where some of the subjects spill into. So that's what Onkal's point was, I think. Just because I remember that part too. I kind of thought he was lying when I heard Kagame say that.
No.
But he's saying like, no, like the barriers or the recognized established kingdoms don't cross into where the borders was finally drawn for Congo. I think that's a little bit of a difference.
That's not true.
But you're going off of what
Help me
Kagame
understand.
That's not true. That's not true. In the eastern part of what is present day Congo, ethnic groups that are in Rwanda were also there too when they drew that line. That's just a fact.
But no. Dennis, what I'm saying, bro, is that was their kingdoms recognized in these barriers? Not the
That's a
people
key
in
point. Their status. Status is very key, bro, because we have ownership. We have owners of land there. We have people that were, excuse me. We have people that were refugees. We have people that were moving back and forth because they had families on different in different regions. So if Paul Kagame fast forward
right,
40
and that's
plus
the
years,
point.
this man was a refugee, but how did he end up serving under Uganda military and
again,
also Rwanda military?
Even
How
before
did that happen?
Kagame, again, there were ethnic groups that were in Rwanda that were also in the present day Congo before the Europeans drew that line. So I just so
That's
again, the
not the
argument
point
is you have
I'm trying to make,
Congolese that make up. Again, what they've done, they've made the Tutsi and Kagame into the boogeyman instead of taking accountability. Instead of taking accountability of how the Congo leadership just sucks.
Dennis, I don't think you fully understand Kagame's history for you to be so confident in those statements.
Dennis, listen. Nobody.
I'm confident that Kagame is a more competent leader than everything the Congo has had.
Based on what? Based on what?
Based on the fact that he put an end to a genocide that took 1 million people.
How do you know that he's not the one that orchestrated it?
Bruh, it doesn't.
So now you're gonna say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right?
Why would you kill 1 million of your own people? What proof? What do you prove by doing
Here's
that?
a simple fact for you, yeah. Around that time, they did a consensus of the population of people, Tutsis, right? There were less than 600,000 in that region, right? So if 1 million people were killed and massacred, that means all of the Tutsis would have been wiped out.
So basically,
you're
a Holocaust
Rwanda
denier.
today?
So
How are they ruling
Dinus,
Rwanda today?
this guy is the equivalent of a Holocaust denier, Dinus. The whole
You just
world
denying the
knows.
facts, bro.
The whole world knows.
You just believe
that
the white man's
800
lies.
listen,
That's all what
man,
you believe, bro.
The whole
You
world
believe
knows
what
that
the white man taught you,
the
bro.
whole world knows
You're just
that over
regurgitating
800,000 people. Hey, Dinus,
You're
am I
just
wrong?
regurgitating what you
Dinus,
heard.
let me verify.
Well, again, but Brandon, that's my point. These are the arguments that anti-Kagame people
I don't
are
have to
making.
hate
Oh
Kagame.
man,
I just deal with the facts,
that
bro.
genocide didn't happen. Oh, that's a lie.
Dinus, let me ask you a question. Dinus. When Kagame first put down the rebellion, wasn't the president that was over Kagame, wasn't he a Hutu?
Yeah.
It was the Hutus that shot down the plane that assassinated. Let me finish. It was the Hutus that killed moderate Hutus that were trying to
deflecting
that's
again.
That's the truth. But that's the truth. It was Hutus that went and killed and assassinated moderate Hutus that wanted peace.
Dennis, what you don't want to deal with is that Kagame was a refugee in Uganda, right? And he was known for being hunting down opposition leaders, torture, rape. That was how he actually rose up the ranks. That's how he rose up the ranks. He was known for that.
What
and then
does
he
that
formed
have
his
to do with
RPF.
anything?
That's
What does
when
that
he
have to do
formed
with
his
what we're
RPF.
talking about?
So the man you're so-called
They don't give a
praising
fuck, man.
was
You're
known
losing
to
the plot.
us as a rapist, as someone that tortures. They had torture houses, yeah, in Uganda. He was
What
well
does
known
that
in
have to
Uganda
do
for
with
that.
anything?
Bro,
So how
let's
can
not
you praise a man like
anybody's
that?
mind,
You
bro.
want me to support a rapist?
Okay, so are you going to produce proof that he was doing that?
Well, there's a whole history of Ruwero.
No,
that we
there's a
can
lot
go
of
into,
there's claims about it.
I'm a
But
live. I'm a
Everyone
living
who's
example
listen,
of that,
man.
of those
One
survivors, bro.
thing you're gonna learn about
There's
history
no
is
erasing that
everybody who
history.
has done. Do
You
you
can't
think
erase
that a
that
group
history,
of
bro.
people? Wait a minute, bro. Do you think that a group of people
Just
who
because you
literally
don't know
fought,
that history, you
bro? Let
can't
me
ignore it.
talk, bro. You're clearly afraid of what I have to say. I'll let you spew your nonsense. Let
Say
me say what I
your
have to say.
miseducation, innit?
Okay, listen, Dynas, do you think that it's possible that a group of people who were responsible for the death of 800,000 Tutsis might spread some propaganda concerning a Tutsi leader?
Oh yeah,
They
here we
spread it.
go.
They spread it on here when they come on.
Exactly.
You guys
So the
still
reality was that Paul Kagame earned the right to be
by
the leader
raping,
of that
murdering,
country. And he did
killing.
it by running your Hutu brethren up out of the country of Rwanda
By creating a genocide.
while still working in peace with the Hutu president, because the Hutu president was a moderate. He stayed the president for
I
years
recommend, yeah,
until Kagame
bruh,
actually won the election later on. And the Hutu president praised Paul Kagame, praised him.
man, you sound like one of those.
This is the truth.
But that still don't give him the right to take the Congo now, bro.
Bro, okay,
Nah, he-
can you guys give us your alternative, please,
The
Dinus,
alternative. I can give
okay,
you my
what's your
alternative,
alternative,
yeah.
Johnny? And
The
by
alternative-
the way,
bruh.
wait, let me say this. Hisio Yumbani Yako. This is not your fucking house. So I don't even know why your name is that on your avatar.
I didn't say it was my house, bro. That's not what that means.
That's what it says. It says Johnny's house. Johnny Yumbani.
That's wrong. You need
Okay,
to
what does it
practice
say?
Swahili. It says
What is-
Johnny at home. It's the difference. But
Hell
anyway, let me
no.
answer your question.
That's not how you say Johnny's at home.
Can anybody who speaks Swahili, real Swahili, actually step in?
This dude is
come in?
lying.
Look up Google. Look it up on Google
You look
Translate.
it up, 'cause you're lying.
Get back to the topic,
Wow.
How
guys.
you gonna tell me, bro? I'm the one
You
who
don't
picked
need
the
to
name.
stop spreading false information, man. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, over here
You,
lying
you
about
guys keep
oh,
crying
shit.
about reparations. This is why we're being delayed to get reparations, because of this false information out here. All
Right,
this
I was about to say,
propaganda, man. All these
Bro,
lies, man.
yeah, Tea and Crumpets, you ain't getting reparations, bro. But let me answer his question. So, the alternative is doing what we need to do as far as the African Union and settling the problem diplomatically internally. That's what the solution is. If y'all think Kagame is a better leader, then he can coax this dumbass leader that they got in the Congo out of the land and without having to do a war. If he can
Nah, he
show that it's
doesn't qualify,
disabled,
bro.
what?
He doesn't qualify to be a leader in that region, man. He's a terrorist.
I don't
just
think
offering-
Kagame wants to be leading the Congo in the first place.
Bro, I don't want him in the Congo either. Like, I'm just saying this is an alternative that I'm offering. That's what he asked.
It's not an alternative at all.
All right, man, let me finish. So anyway, what you can do is look at trying to do shit diplomatically, not trying to go and do like covert operations and act like, oh, I didn't know that my people is leading this army that's taking over cities and shit left and right because the government of DRC is incompetent. You know, that's going to lead to more bloodshed and destabilization throughout the region, and it spreads over into other regions, and it undermines the African Union, which nobody seems to give a damn about. But it's like, for everything that worked, for USA to be pulled and all this stuff, we're going to need investments from outside, from the West. You know what I mean? From you up there and across the pond and shit to start putting into Africa. And people ain't going to want to do that if they see that shit is not stable. So then we really going to have problems of famine and destabilization and then uprisings and shit like that. So this, in a way, is even added to even more destabilization by him trying to conquer some shit, you know, instead of going about it in a diplomatic means. If he really wants this type of land, he would be such a much better leader than the dude that's currently in the Congo.
He still has to answer for many crimes in Uganda.
Bro,
you know,
nobody cares about that. You gotta take that up with somebody else, because that's not
Bruh.
the topic, and you're not gonna change nobody's mind with that. Trust me. Nobody cares.
First of all, yeah, he's doing the same thing without addressing the past crimes. He's gonna continue, but and he is continuing. Like that's why we're here.
Who said, hey, I see what you put in the comment. I didn't say Yuko Nyombani. It says Nyombani. There's no Yuko. You're muted.
But if you're saying Johnny is at home, it would be Yuko.
I didn't say that. You did. I was reading what my name was.
You're just saying Johnny's home, like Daddy's home?
That's not what it says either. You keep skipping over shit, bro. You need to study your Swahili. But
What are you talking about?
What is it? What does it mean? What does it mean?
Literally, Johnny's home. That's what
That's
it would
not
be.
what it means. You keep
What
skipping
does it
over
mean?
shit.
Okay, tell me what it means again.
It means at home. Johnny
If
Nyombani.
you are saying Johnny is at home, that would be Johnny Yuko
I didn't say
Yumbani.
is at home. Why you keep adding words, bro? You got to listen to what I said.
Oh,
I said
you
Johnny
speaking improper English.
Johnny at home. That's what the
Okay.
name means. It doesn't mean is at home. It
So you
doesn't.
speaking like English is your second language. I get it.
No, nice try, bro. I'm American. My parents is born in California.
So why you ain't speaking English like an American?
What are you talking about? I'm not speaking English.
You
That's just what
talking
the
like a
name means.
Mexican, Johnny at home. What the
That's-
hell is that? Are we in the
Bro,
third grade?
All right, I'm out. Y'all go.
All right, let me pass the mic. Let me pass the mic to Ja. Go ahead, Ja. Unmute yourself.
What's going on? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like why we're not.
Let me answer his question real quick. Is it possible?
Well, let me pass it to Ja, and you can follow back.
Yeah. So I don't understand why we're not kind of listening to Koja, because Koja is he said, I don't know if that's the same person, but he said he actually lived in Rwanda. So I mean, he would go.
No. I grew up in Uganda.
Oh, in Uganda.
If you look at my profile, that is the country in black.
Okay, so Uganda. So Ugandans are also involved with the situation as well. They're siding with Rwanda, right?
No, that's
and I
what
believe
that's what I'm saying.
Museveni is from an ethnic group that is aligned with Tutsi people as well. The Bahima, right?
Yes, but he's
so
not.
that's why I said this
indigenous
situation
to
is a
that region.
multifaceted. It's a multifaceted situation. You see Museveni's Bahima, Kagame, who is Tutsi, who actually experienced the genocide. So yes, when it comes to the minerals and the money, that's definitely influencing the situation. I mean, encouraging it even more, right? Inflaming it even more. But we have to attack the root of it. And I, like I said earlier, the root of it is the Rwandan genocide. There needs to be reconciliation between the Congo and Rwanda.
It starts before. This is what I keep saying to you guys. It's before the Rwanda genocide, bro. It started.
So if you want to say, I kind of agree with you. I would say if you want to say it's before the Rwanda genocide, right? I would say it started, or part of it started with the Europeans, the Germans, and the Belgians coming into Rwanda and classifying the Hutus and the Tutsis as racial groups. When before this, they were class groups. They weren't a racialized group.
They were like before the Belgians. They were more or less refugees, bro. They didn't have any ancestral ties to that land. They literally migrated there.
So that's not what you're talking about.
They
The
were allowed
Tutsis?
to stay Tutsis, yeah.
That's not entirely true. That's not entirely true. If you look at the genetics of the Tutsi people,
oh my days.
they are listen. They are semi-Bantu people, so they are mixed with Cushitic, Nilotic, and Bantu. They're semi-Bantu people, and they speak a Bantu language.
That's why.
So I understand what you're saying. Historically speaking, the Cushitic and Nilotic tribes must have migrated down to the Great Lake regions, and they integrated within the Bantu population, and then that's how you got the Tutsis and Bahima. These people are a mixture of Bantu and other tribes. But I get what you're saying. Yeah,
the Bantu admixture is like the lowest class of Tutsi that you can find. But
that's not true, because if you look at the genetics of Tutsi and Hutus, they're literally identical. They're the same people.
Yeah.
The Germans and the Belgians literally came there. The Germans and the Belgians came there and started to use pseudoscience to classify these groups into different racial groups.
Hey, Hutus and Tutsis are the same exact people. It's
the same.
two different classes.
That's not comparing me.
Listen, hold on. Brandon. It's somewhat true, but I get what he's saying too, because when you look at the genetics of the Tutsi people, when you look at the genetics of the Tutsi people, they do have admixture from outside of that region, from outside of the Great Lakes region.
Bro, I'm telling you,
they are pastoralist people. They're a pastoralist group.
Listen.
Look at Kagame, bro.
No, listen, bro. Tutsis and Hutu are the same
Man looks
people.
Somali, bro.
There were literally, Hutus are just people who were poor.
Exactly.
And then the white man came. Then the white man came. I know about this.
They're not.
You see,
okay,
this is
if you
all
don't
lies,
agree,
bro.
if you don't
agree, what Brandon is saying is somewhat is true, actually.
Listen, wait a minute. If you don't agree, somebody got feedback. Oh my call, you got feedback, bro.
I got feedback?
Yes. Listen, if you don't agree, listen to what I have to say, then you could disprove what I'm saying. Hutus were just poor people. The white man came. he literally was able to give Hutus guns, machine guns, and they waged war against Tutsis.
No, it's not like that, Brendan. It's not like that, Brendan.
Bro,
That's
why I
that's a
cut him early.
manipulated
That's
history
why I
by
cut him early, bro.
Kagame's gang.
All right, man.
Guys, I've been
This
to
guy
Rwanda.
doesn't
Let me
know history
explain
in
a
the
little bit.
region.
There is some truth to what you are saying, but it's not like that.
Wait a minute, Omicron. Hold on real quick.
Just here to spread more lies, bro.
Do you realize, do you see how these people are so brainwashed by their own propaganda that when someone tells the truth, they don't even entertain the idea that could be the facts.
No, Brendan,
you guys are just saying
listen
exactly
to me as well.
what
There is
you
some
were
truth to
taught
what you are saying.
There's a
Brendan,
third witness.
there is some truth to
Third
what you are
witness.
saying, but all is not true.
Let me answer this. Let me
explain.
Are Hutus and Tutsis the same people genetically speaking?
We all Africans, for me, I believe
part,
we
yes.
are all same people.
No, I'm specifically talking about Hutus and Tutsis.
For the most part, you're right. I would say you're 80% right.
Yeah, let me. Can I put some perspectives and present myself?
They're not at all.
Peace.
he's
Salute to
80%,
everybody in the
bro.
panel. Salute to everybody in the panel. Is your Congolese brother here who lived in Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, everywhere there, and passionate about history. Yeah, historically, to what Brandon is saying, for me, I believe for peaceful purposes and for understanding, I believe they might be same people. And I better use they might be. Why? Because when you read the history, I was trying to get a Rwandese, I just didn't know before time, but I was trying to get a Rwandan girl, a Tutsi Rwandan girl who has a YouTube channel called You and I to come here, so that I think she could be of a great help. So when you read their history of Rwanda, even with Alexis Kagame, who's the historian which a lot of our Tutsi brothers like to refer to, you may see even Kagame himself, he was trying that the Hutu, their way of migration to Rwanda is a little bit different. So, but for the purpose of understanding one another and the peace, yes, for me, I agree that they might be same people. And how? Do you see, for example, I'll take the example of Kenya, Kalenjin, and in my country, Congo, our tribe. Like the Kalenjin, they are not one people from same migration. It was two different tribes. But they decide probably in the 1900, like in the 1910, 1920, that they should come together and form one bigger tribe so that they can be strong. That's what I think probably happened with Tutsi and the Hutu, because yes,
that's true.
In their clan, for example, if you take like a clan of Banyiginya, which was a ruling clan, you'll find Hutu, Banyiginya, and Tutsi Banyiginya. So what is Hutu and Tutsi social class? For themselves, and this is what I try to refute, is not the white people or the Belgian who divide them. No, the white people came there. There was already that division. The white men just
it was a class distinction, yes. But the white people racialized them.
Yes, so the white people use that. They use that to codify it as identity. So a Hutu is not to say he was poor. No, a Hutu is the one who was farmer.
Exactly, agriculturalist, and then the Tutsi was a pastoralist.
And the Tutsi were pastoralists.
Exactly.
So, but know this, a Hutu, if came to acquire a lot of cows, could
become a Tutsi.
Could become to that status of Tutsi. But in their history, when they tell you that a Tutsi could become a Hutu, is a lie. I read out probably 4 or 5 books of history on Rwanda. And especially historian who they don't take side, who they are not Rwandan, will explain that well. So a Hutu could become a Tutsi, but a Tutsi couldn't become a Hutu. That's a lie. So what happened now, where the problem started with the kingdom, like the Rwandan, Central Rwanda kingdom starting to acquire or to conquer other small kingdom which was around. The Tutsi, those who were at the Tutsi social class, they put the Hutu in the situation of servage. Servage. I don't know. We can call it. It's nearby like slavery. So like servant, they put the Hutu in the second-class citizen class. And
Well,
there
it was the
and here-
Europeans that actually instituted that. But go ahead.
No. That's a lie. It
They
started
instituted it and gave them literally gave them ID cards.
No,
So, yeah.
listen to me before I get there. Yes, I know what the European did, but before European, there was a system already of salvage in Rwanda. The Hutu were servants to the Tutsi. Then, fast forward, there was a lot of mistreatment. Then, when the European came, the first, the Germans, with von Gotzen. Von Gotzen found that Rwanda Kingdom was actually waging war when von Gotzen got there in the 1890 something. They were waging war to conquer Bunyambiriri, to conquer other kingdom nearby the Congo-Nile Divide mountains. So that's when they went into pact, and then other German came. Fast forward, the German became the colonizer of Rwanda. Until that time, they hadn't they hadn't conquered all the land. For example, the Bukunzi and the Busozo was conquered later, after the Second World War. That's when the Rwanda Kingdom conquered those one. On the north. So fast forward. I wanted to come here, to first clarify that. Then, when the colonization, York took over, then because they were asking, the colonizer, when they come to your land, they ask your history. They ask people. In Rwanda, there was these people called Abiru. So they were the custodian of the history. They were the custodian. They were the one who were in charge to pass down the history of Rwandan kingdom. And the Abiru taught them how they are different between Hutu and Tutsi. So, but the Europeans, so as to colonize well, to manage well the country, they codified it into now identity.
Racial
Hutu
identities.
or you are Tutsi. And then that's when they become the things of measuring with the Belgian later on. But still, the Tutsi were the higher class and the Hutu were considered lower class. But because the Hutu they were more, they gave birth to more. And then with education coming in Rwanda, they got a lot of education, and they were in a bigger number. They start learning about revolution, about all this. Then they start organizing themselves, because they became more politically conscious. And now in the bigger number, they organize themselves. They start rising up against the mistreatment which the Tutsi were putting them in. And that way, fast forward in the 1950 now, with the movement of independence, they organized also, of course, the Tutsi monarchy was trying in the 1950, 55, up to 58, was also trying to start asking independence from the Belgian. But because now the balance of power was a little bit, favoring the Hutu, the Belgian, they wanted to keep their interest in Rwanda. They didn't want to have, come out and fight with the majority, because at this time they realized that the Hutu are more than 85% of the country, and the Tutsi who are ruling the country, they are only 14%. So that way now, with the history and what happened, the mistreatment of the Hutu by the Tutsi and stuff, so there was that hunger. That's when the Rwandan Revolution take part. And that's when
Can I ask you a question, brother?
Yeah, you go ahead.
You say you're from Uganda, right?
No. I'm from Congo. I'm from Kivu, the area which used to be occupied. So,
are you Banyamulenge?
No. I'm not Mnyamlenge. I'm a Mufuliru. I'm a descendant of the people who welcome those who you call Banya, whatever, but we call them the good. If you want peace or you don't want to antagonize any group, it's good to call them Congolese Banyarwanda. Because when you call them.
Let me ask you another question. Are you familiar with the Banyankole people of Uganda?
Yes, I'm familiar. Yes.
So it seems like the history of the Banyankole Empire, right, is similar to what happened with the Tutsis and the Hutus.
I think my friend Koja is from Uganda, okay?
Hey, I want to ask this question. Before y'all get too deep in that, do you think Paul Kagame should annex Congo?
So this is my take.
I say no.
As a Congolese activist, I classify Paul Kagame as a modern day Leopold II. Do you see? Paul Kagame, his name can be like a Polo, and the Leopold. Why I say that? Leopold from exploiting Congo. He killed more than 10 million of Congolese. Paul Kagame, in the contract which he was given by the Clintons, the Blairs, the Roger Winter, I can name people. If anybody want to know the whole story, I recommend the book Holocaust in Congo. The international community omerta. Is France an accomplice? It's written by a brother, African brother called Charles Onana. Charles Onana. You will understand everything starting from Uganda, why Museveni was installed in Uganda. You'll understand how the American helped him. What is Museveni doing to Banyankore? To the Baganda, Banyoro, Acholi people, like every other ethnic group in Uganda, like how he's suppressing them.
What's the book called?
Holocaust in Congo. Holocaust. Holocaust.
And who's the author?
We know how to spell
Charles Onana. CharlesOnana. You can find it on Amazon, and it's cheap. I think I bought it for $25, but it's a great book. He even produced documents from the White House, the Pentagon, and the French, like the Élysée, to prove the case, and everything.
Can I say something, Dennis? So I'm not sure if you was here earlier.
I hadn't finished, bro. Can I finish my
Sorry.
My dear. So Paul Kagame also, from doing that, how many Congolese have died? With the the report which was leaked in 2010, the research with IRC and the mapping report, where they found 10,000 incidents of crime. If brought before the crime of humanity, it can be classified as a genocide. Not me, but the UN and the IRC. They did this. So they said it was already more than 5 million Congolese have died. Today, researchers are estimating probably it has been now more than 13 million people have died. So between
and you're talking about the Belgium, right?
Sorry?
You're talking about the Belgian genocide against Congo, right?
No. Now is this invasion, this war, current war now. Current war.
Okay.
Yes, current war. So over 13 million Congolese have died from 1996 up to now. Now, tell me, and all this war has always been the proxy who they use, or the subcontractor who they use, is Uganda, Museveni's regime, not all Baganda, but the Museveni regime and the Paul Kagame gang. To some extent, sometimes in 1996, Burundi was there, and some African leader as a support. But the UK, the US, and NATO will give cover up to Paul Kagame. Do you know who trained Paul Kagame's army? The American first, and then the British. Then in the intelligence, they are trained by Israeli. So whoever
Omkar, are you saying that during this entire period that the Congolese was not backed by the West at all, whether it be France, Belgium, the British? Are you saying they weren't backed by the West at all?
So politics is fluid. I'll tell you the truth. Like in 1996, Mobutu was backed by the French, but the French, they were weak
and the CIA.
Yeah, no. And not the whole CIA because remember, in 1996, the people who wanted to overthrow Mobutu is the US. It's Clinton. I'll go straight and tell you the name. It's a Clinton. You can read this in the Clinton Cash. You can read this in this book. You can read it in the book by another author, Michael Arang, Do Not Disturb. In many books which, like investigative journalists have done, they tell you the truth. Even Cynthia McKinney, you remember our senator? Our black sister Cynthia McKinney, in his book, How the US Create Shitholes Country, he spoke about that because he was the envoy of Clinton in that region. But when he starts seeing the reality, especially about Congo, that's when her fallout with Clinton started. You see, so it was the America. So the CIA couldn't back Mobutu, but there was agent in the CIA, personal agent now in the CIA, who were trying to help Mobutu, like to tell him, hey, this thing is coming. This is what they are planning. You see? But France was beaten. Why? Because you remember the Clinton administration secretary in Commerce, Ron Brown.
He went to Senegal.
So we're on the same page. So you're saying that during this entire period, that Congo was not backed by any Western forces or just the West, period, during this entire time.
You know, even if you are backed somehow, not at all, like a weak country already, because France was weakened. Remember, in Rwanda, France was accused to have helped the genocide. So, you know, geopolitically, the French was weakened. Now, when the Kagame force attacked Congo, French couldn't help much Mobutu than just to try to give him, you know, refuge or help him somehow with intelligence, but they couldn't engage their force to fight or their diplomatic muscles, because even if they could have done it, who can stop a country like US, UK, Australia, and Canada with the intelligence of Israel both together? Which country can stand against that at that time? You see, that was the issue. And up to now, Rwanda still enjoy the backing of most of, you know, because this is the thing. Even with us activists working here in the US, this is what happened. The support of Kagame in State Department, like starting from the 2012, especially during Obama era, it started to weaken a little bit. But in Pentagon, it was still strong. That's what we found out. Kagame still have a lot of backings in Pentagon due to the connection which he had, and you know, and in business and academic world, you know. Because remember also, like I said the last time, Kagame, one of the things which he has done is build his PR machine. Kagame spent a lot of money on public image about him and Rwanda. That's why a lot of brothers, especially African American, they look at him with high esteem. It's a lot of propaganda.
It's working.
Yeah, it's working. I know, you know. But when you dig deep, like for me, who have been in Rwanda before Kagame,
but what I'll say to that is, it's not even that we believe the propaganda. It's just that we look at what Kagame is doing with his country, and we look at how Congo is basically unable to get their country on solid footing, and we're just like, how could it be worse than what's currently happening?
Yeah, fair question. Fair question. So, as a Congolese who also every day I hold accountable these Congolese leaders, especially the one who's there now.
Let me say this. Let me say this real quick. Okay. It's the same like the Black American community, right? Black people, we can't make our communities safe, right? We can blame other people. We could talk about how it used to be. We could talk about what it could be. But ultimately, at a certain point, you got to say, look, man, the white people moving in, the gentrification is way better for the community because it's ending the problems now. It's ending the murders. It's ending the crime. And it's improving the community now. So even though something might not be pretty, it might not be like the fairy tale ending, at what point do you just admit, man, listen, anything is better than what's going on. We need to get the Congolese people to the point where they can actually have a life and not constantly just be like a ping pong ball getting hit back and forth between this leader, this regime, this foreign interest, that foreign interest. We got to have some stability. And what I will say with Paul Kagame is, as much as people don't like him, he is a force that creates stability.
Bro, just quickly, again, my profile picture is.
Hey, shut up. We got a real Congolese person on here. We don't need your input anymore.
Well, let me pass it to Francois. Go ahead,
you don't know the history, bro.
Let me pass it to Go ahead, Francois. Unmute yourself, Francois. Then we're gonna close out. Go ahead, Francois. I gotta mute yourself.
Yes. So basically, I have been to Kinshasa, and it's a really beautiful country. And the people there, they like each other. They will fight when it comes to war. The problem is just the leadership. and they don't want any other pull Kagame in their country. The people, they want to fight. It's just the government that is fucked up. Just like that. And believe me, nobody there wants Kagame.
So Uncle, can you give us a
that's what-
solution?
Yeah, solution. Okay. I've suggested here before again, like the brother just said, no matter the whole world help Kagame, Congolese. Remember the meaning of Congo. If I heard there is somebody who is a descendant, of our brother who were brought here in Mahafa. Do you know the meaning of Congo? Congo means Ngo. Ngo means leopard. Ko is like the way, or so the people. So these people, Congolese, the Congo, they are the people of leopard. But right now we are led by, what can I say? Maybe a goat. Because a goat, when he sees something white, he follows. I don't know, people have lived at a farm here. When he sees, green, he follows. So right now, that's what is happening. But us as the people, do you see, for example, I gave the other time the example of Uvira, people they are fighting and M23 cannot move there. Yes, there will be other place maybe, and even if they come up and they occupy some land, but we know one day we will have Ngo as a leader, and it's not far. We are working to take out this guy Felix, because he's incapable. He could have done better. He could have done better to prepare us for this. Rwanda have been preparing for this war since. Actually, there was other Congolese analysts who were alerting that since the 2018 that Rwanda is preparing for another war. Congo should, the leaders should prepare the country. But he was thinking that he could go into deals with Kagame, give him the concession in our mines in Congo. So the solution is that soon there is a solution which we are backing. Is championed by the church, so as all the Congolese faction can come together and speak one language. Then, when that come together, they should install a government of unity. Then prepare the army and motivate the army, because in Congo, even M23 is some place where M23 is gaining. It's because there is a lot of frustration and some type of political division among Congolese. Because this guy who's a president, he didn't win election in 2023. It was a sham. It was just stole election. And 2018, so there is that anger among people. But other than that, the solution now, when it comes to our brothers, Congolese of Rwandan origin, yes, they are Congolese. You cannot, it's not up to me to refuse that this is not Congolese. And I want to come to the point which Dinas was trying to emphasize, what Kagame said. Do you know how many times Kagame had lied to the international community? Kagame had lied that he's not his group who shot down the plane, the investigators, and his bodyguard.
There's no proof that
there is. Shot down. Look.
There's no proof that his group shot down.
Again, let me show that there is proof. All these years, there is no any member of the former Rwandan government who has come out and say that they shot them, even if they are incarcerated, even if they are chased away out in the whole world. Of course, nobody. But wait now. But in Kagame's camp, there is probably 5 people who have testified that they were there. They took part in the shooting down of the plane. Another thing which can demonstrate that is that the Russian, because that missile, remember, when they do investigation, they will take the black box. They will take, they will find out which missile did that. They found out the missile. It was a Russian-made Sol Air missile, and they were able to trace it back. You can see, look for Michael Hourigan. Is an Australian investigator. Michael Hourigan. He was the first investigator sent to Rwanda. And do you know who stopped Michael Hourigan from publishing his report? The US, the Clinton again, the Clinton babies. So they traced back that missile to Uganda, to the stock which the American left in Uganda. Which side was Uganda supporting? Everybody knows that it's FPR, the Kagame side.
Kagame.
Yeah, Kagame side. Another indication.
Pinocchio.
The former Hutu government didn't have the need to have a sole air missile because they were not fighting with the army which had airplane or jet or stuff. So there was no need for that. In their stock, there was nothing like that. Remember that when the United Nations mission was sent to Rwanda, among the thing they did, they went into all the stocks of then Rwandan army and registered all the arms, all the guns, because these guys, they were already under embargo. They were trying to find out if there is any country which is supplying them with arms, trying to circumvent the embargo. So there is a lot of proof. This is another proof. Even after the 1994, in 1995, 1996, it was an open secret. Even in Rwanda and Kigali, themselves, the RPF soldiers, they used to praise themselves. They used to say it openly. We shot down that dog. You see, so there is overwhelming evidence that it's a Kagame group that shot down the plane. Again, this book, Holocaust in Congo by Charles Nana, you're gonna find, if you want more reference. Even the African American brother, the professor Christian Davenport. This is a specialist when it comes to study of genocide, mass atrocity. He went to Rwanda. He spent, I think, more than 5 years there doing research. You can see his research is now on YouTube. Christian, if you tap "rethinking Rwandan."
There's no proof that there's no proof. One took responsibility. There's no proof that Kagame or even
fast forward. I know Dylas can never accept that. So fast forward in Congo. Fast forward in Congo. Our brothers from Rwanda, we know what they are trying to impose there. It's what they impose in Uganda. And my brother from Uganda, Koja, understand when I say that. We know, we Congolese, we know, because we have leaks, document of 1960, 1962 of their plan. Because even the so-called liberation, yes, the so-called liberation of Rwanda. Do you know that it's those our brother Tutsi who we welcome in Congo from 1920, 1959, who contributed the bigger share of all the Rwandan who were other than the Western, the Western support, but in their contribution, it's those Tutsi who were in Congo because they were why? Because they were among the richest in the region. Why? Because Congolese never discriminated against them. They were just living like other Congolese. They had government. They were government posts. They had work.
Hey, guys, I gotta go cook dinner, man. I'm hungry.
So people, tomorrow, whoever wanna know more, we have a live we are recording right now on Something Nice with Dinamo. We're gonna debunk all the lies that Nyerere said, Thabo Mbeki, PLO Lumumba, and what.
Where do I join, bro?
Yeah.
Where is the live? Where can I find the live?
Something Nice on YouTube channel of a South African guy. Something Nice with Dinamo.
It's being live stream right now.
No, I don't think that it will be live right now because he told me that it will be pre-recorded. So they are recording right now.
Okay, so when Dinah shuts down the channel, just stay in the back chat. I want to talk to you about something.
Omkal,
yes.
Have you read the works of Patrick Mbeko?
Yes. I've read a lot. Stratégie du chaos et du mensonge. But for anybody who speak French, who can study French, that's a great book. That book explains now even the history.
Yeah, even on Gaddafi, he has written a great book about.
The best book ever written on Gaddafi and what happened to Gaddafi.
All right, guys, allow Dynas to shut down the channel if you want to continue to talk. Just stay in the back chat.
We'll put the link right now in so I can go in and completely shut it down. I got.
But stay in the back chat, guys. We can still talk.
Okay. All right, guys.
Thank you.